South Boston Speedway. Get on your feet. We're getting ready to go racing here at South Boston. Let me hear you. Let me see you. Wave what you got. You got a hat. You got a sign. You got a baby. I don't care. Give us a wave. We're going late model stock racing here at the home for big events, South Boston Speedway.
We are on fire. That's how we do it here. That's how we roll. Big time short track racing right here at South Boston Speedway, America's favorite short track for racing.
Man, it's going to be a fantastic race. You see the field getting all lined up, and we were talking earlier. How big is this field? How big is this race? We're talking about having clean air for your car. That's not going to be a thing. By the time we're 5 laps in, we're going to be fighting traffic. We got fireworks on the track now. We're going to have fireworks on the track later. We'll have fireworks behind the track in just a little while. But man, this is going to be a fantastic show. 1 to go this time by. South Boston, get on your feet. Flow Racing, get on your feet. If you're at home, if you're laying on the couch, get off that couch, get on your feet. If you're in the kitchen making dinner, put down that waffle iron, get on your feet.
Waffles.
If you're at home in your bedroom, hey, get out of bed, get on your feet. We're going racing here at South Boston. It is going to be an absolutely fantastic show, start to finish. The first leg of the Virginia Triple Crown starts right now. The Danville Toyota pace car making a hard left-hand turn on the pit road. John Retzlaff of Thunder Road Harley-Davidson, he's got the green flag in his hand. Pace car's off. Green flag is up in the air, and we're underway for the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200, presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Laps into the race, Jacob Boris is checked out on the field. We talked about it earlier. Jacob Boris is a young driver. Man, he has gotten real good, real fast here at South Boston. He has raced the likes of the Lee Pulliam, of the Peyton Sellers, of all those guys. He has gone from being the young kid in a race car to being a guy that's going to lead a race like this. Holding off right now, Corey Heim, who's won Truck Series races. Trouble off at turn number 4, and again, it is the number 28 machine.
Oh.
Jason Barnes, and oh man, dicey out there.
Outright in front of Brandon Pierce.
And Brandon Pierce trying to go underneath, and Barnes drops down, and there's contact, and that might end Brandon Pierce's night. Oh my goodness. And we're back. Okay. And
trying to back up, get off of him.
We'll see what's going on. He gets a wave to go ahead. Heartbreak for Brandon Pierce. We just talked about Brandon Pierce has not won this race. He's never won with Thunder Road Harley-Davidson on his car. And man,
with that bump, that had to mess up the toe.
The toe's messed up. You see the
toe on these late model stock cars, because they're not offset chassis, is so important.
Absolutely. And you see it's towed in just a little. And now here's the thing. He's got to get on pit road. He's got to get this thing taken care of. Caution laps are going to count. It's not like the other support divisions where caution laps don't count. He has got a finite amount of time.
We didn't make a full lap, did we? Yeah, we did. We did 2 laps before we. I was thinking about what we announced. I'm sorry.
You see the right front on that. It looks a little towed out. It looks a little cambered in, and it is about to be. It's about to be a long night for that 2 car. Now that said, Brandon Pierce has an amazing pit crew. He has got a great pit crew and a team that can get this thing working.
I'm down here on the 2 of Brandon Pierce. You can see his crew chief, Lee Pulliam, who is working diligently on that right front fender, which is pushed up against the right front tire. They also have a jack underneath the car to see what they can do about this damage. It looks though that the nose isn't that torn up other than that fender, so that is a positive for the 2 team. They'll continue to evaluate that fender here and see what they can do, especially when it comes to the hoses. Lee Pulliam's going to tell them to go ahead and head back onto the racetrack.
We're going to look at the replay right here on Flow Racing, and Man, it just, you see him right there. There's Barnes just kind of sitting there, thinking everyone's going to go high up and above him. Starts to roll down. Brandon Pierce going down low. Didn't have a place up high to go, and there's that contact with the right front. Jason Barnes had trouble in qualifying. He spun out, and he is one of the reasons that the 22 had trouble. A couple of those guys had trouble in their qualifying runs, right?
Yeah.
And so
he's out of the car.
I chatted with Barnes after qualifying, and he said the car was too tight in practice. We took a huge swing at it, went too far the other way. However, he said he was going to try to leave it loose, thought he might be able to have it come back to him. The sun was going down. The track does have more grip. It went around, and I don't know if it was a spotter. Jason Barnes is a longtime race car driver. He knows what he's doing out here. That's kind of it's almost like either his spotter told him, go ahead, or something happened.
Yeah.
So that is.
I was kind of wondering if maybe a clutch issue or
absolutely
brake issue, possibly, which could have caused the spin as well. So, but it's hard to tell unless we talk to him.
Absolutely. So you see at the tail end of the field, you can't see it right now, but the 2-car, Brandon Pierce, still on the track, still on the lead lap, and that is the important part right there for him. Looks like we have another car on pit road. That is, I believe, the 70. We have a bunch of 77s in the field. I believe that is Trey Cruz. Yes, that is Trey Cruz in the RNS race cars number 77 machine. He is on pit road. It looks like there's not a lot of people taking a look much of that car. His night might be done. All right, throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake.
Yeah, I'm down here by the 77, and Blake Superman Stallings, it looks like he is done for the day. He's going to hop out, and we'll get a word with him to find out just what happened underneath the hood of that 77. Just from my quick take, it looked like he was battling some overheating, but we'll be able to confirm in just.
So you see Trey Cruz there getting out of his car, and the car was overheating a little bit in qualifying. So it just may have been an issue there where the car just could not get, cooled down enough and just pick right back up. Now the thing about this right now, we have the cone out. We're getting 2 to go this time by. We'll throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake back down on pit road here in just a moment. She'll chat with Trey Cruz and see exactly what happened out there.
That Trey Cruz just exited out of his car. Tell us what happened there in the 77.
Well, I'm not sure. We had some kind of misfire or some maybe ignition. Unfortunately, the guys worked their tail off. RNS race car, Steve Stallings. We had a pretty good car. Didn't qualify where we wanted to. But those first 3 laps before it started skipping, it felt like we had a really good car. So tough break, but yeah.
Unfortunate end there for Trey Cruz. Filling in, my apologies, for Blake Stallings today.
Gonna get 1 to go this time by, it looks like. The thing about a race like this, I'm actually impressed how easily we got this field re-racked. Because it is, you got to get everyone all lined up, and you got 40 cars now.
Yeah.
Still a lot of cars.
Jacob Horst chose the top side here on South Boston Speedway. You'll see most experienced drivers pick the top side, but late in the goings, you'll see them maybe swap and pick the bottom because if you're going to get leaned on, you need to be on the inside to be able to get away, because if you get pinched up against the wall, then you got nowhere to go.
But almost like the Hornets, you got to get these cars wound up.
Yep.
And you run that high side, the gear they run, it can bog down just a little bit on the inside. You get that high side, you get a good run coming off the corner.
That momentum.
And you need that momentum. It is key out here.
More mo.
Daniel, the Toyota pace car, is going to make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Field's going to come to the south side disposal restart zone. Brandon Willard has the green flag. He throws it back in the air, and we're back underway. 9 laps into this 200-lap event. We're going to be doing some stage racing here. We'll talk about that in a few moments here.
Not as the same.
Not the same first, had that time.
The first go-round, Boris looked like he shot out of a cannon. Looks like Carter Langley got a little loose coming off of turn 4. That momentum on the top side, and that'll let Jacob Boris get back up to the front in that clean air.
Took him a couple laps there, but Jacob Boris back up to the lead. Carter Langley runs second. It is a hot, just a mess of cars back there. There are so many cars out on the track. You see him right now, nose to tail, first, second, third, fourth, battle for 5th. That is the 99 machine. You see him in the back of that shot. Lane Riggs on the inside, and it looks to be one of the 8 cars.
That's
Carson Quapple on the outside there. Carson Quapple trying to hold on to that spot. He gets a spot right in front of Riggs. battle right behind them now. That is Peyton Sellers. A little bit of contact right there between Peyton Sellers and I believe that's Mason Diaz right there.
Diaz, yeah.
Mason Diaz is not going to give up a spot.
No, he's not going to give it up easy, and he ain't shy about rubbing.
Absolutely not.
I mean, he's been running dirt, so he'll be up the high side and looking for the cushion.
Landon Riggs is still on the inside. Quapple on the outside. Quapple now is falling victim. Peyton Sellers is right there trying to hold on to that inside. We were talking about it earlier. Of the people here tonight, Peyton Sellers is one of the guys that has more laps at this track than just about anybody else.
Yeah.
But out front right now, battle for second, picking up. That is Corey Heim looking at the inside of the very brightly colored Carter Langley. Carter Langley's really coming to his own here at South Boston. He's got a lot of laps at a lot of tracks, but really it's taken him a couple of years to get used to racing here at South Boston. But man, he's figured it out. He's got that high side working well. He is using that momentum to stay ahead of Corey Heim. Heim's just a little bit loose under the corner. He's getting cut back in behind Carter Langley. Langley drifts up the track a little bit. The thing about that, Doc, they're sliding up like that. Every time you're not going straight, you're using up tires. The more you're sliding through the corner, you're using up tires. We got 200 laps. We're not changing tires at halfway.
Yeah.
Whatever you got, you got.
That's right. Big battle for the second spot. I saw there briefly. That's letting Jacob Boris sneak away. There's that battle for second. Corey Heim got the advantage coming off the low side, but that momentum on the high side
For a while.
Carter Langley. Carter Langley's come a long way. I first
Absolutely.
saw him in a family-owned late model stock at Wake County down in North Carolina, and did very well. Did a lot of great things with very small budget, and did a lot of good things with less equipment. And now he's got himself in great position to drive a first-class race car for a first-class team, and he's showing the talent that he's got.
Saw it very quickly there. Connor Hall, Carson Paul were battling for 7th place on the track. For that battle, here comes the number 99 Lane Riggs, your current national points leader, your current South Boston points leader, battling up there, trying to make his way up to the front. He's up to 4th right now. A win here would be huge for him.
Absolutely. And he's going to, that's a brand new PRW chassis. I get Mike Looney working on the Ford machine, Kyle Dudley, and they race together Motor Mile and Franklin County. So here they are in the big race. Who they find themselves with right there again together. But looks like he nudged him out of the way. Mike Looney wanting to move on.
Got to give a shout to Kyle Dudley, by the way, putting on a great qualifying. A little bit of contact there between he and the 14 machine of Jared Fryer. And here comes the 01 machine of Camden Gilly. Camden Gilly looks at his inside as well. And it's just like it almost like Kyle Dudley just needs to be on the bottom. Right. And if he's not on the bottom, he's getting eaten alive out there.
Yeah, he looks really loose.
Yeah, absolutely.
Looks really loose. So Camden's going to take advantage of that. Sam Yarborough on the 16th.
And that Chad McCumbee racing car. Always good to see Chad out here when he's been out here. Didn't see him today, but
yeah, he's probably got a road race somewhere.
Absolutely. Love chatting road racing with Chad McCumbee. One of the guys. Contact coming off of turn number 2. Kyle Dudley keeps it together, and we keep on green.
And that traps Landon Pimbleton behind him.
Yeah, there's a hard contact there. And
Danny Willis looks like off the pace heading towards the pit. And a lot of fans come back to the racetrack just to see Danny Willis race.
Yeah, Danny Willis Jr. was not happy with that car all weekend. He said Cam McGilly had a great car. That's a team car, and Danny couldn't get that car working the way he needed to. He said it was good for a while, kind of went away from him, came back a little bit, went away from him. It looks like his night is probably over.
See a lot of racing action there. Landon Pimbleton now trying to get around the Ford machine.
That's Kyle Dudley on the inside. Landon Pimbleton trying to make it work on the high side. Kyle Dudley right now really just trying to hold on. If he can get this car, keep on the lead lap until halfway, try to find something to get that car hooked up. He had a quick car in practice, had a quick car in qualifying. Just can't. He's going to have to fight until back there. We're going to throw it down to Jacqueline Drake down on pit road.
Now we're down here with Josh Oakley. You just exited out of your 8. Can you tell us what happened with your car there in the final lap?
Yeah, we made the 77 car was on the inside of him, and he just come down. I guess he didn't know I was there, and I think it broke something in the steering box because it knocked the steering off. I couldn't really steer it, so try to see what it is and come back next time.
Oakley racing tough in for the night here in the 200 lapper.
We talked about it earlier. There was not going to be a lot of time before we ran into traffic, and here we have traffic and a battle for the lead. Corey Heim to the inside of Jacob Bors.
Yep.
And Corey Heim is going to get that spot as they're tangled up behind the number 91 machine of Chris Elliott. Chris Elliott's just kind of there trying to get out of the way. And now we got a three-way battle for the lead.
Lane Riggs flexing his muscle quite a bit.
It is Corey Himes, Jacob Boris, Lane Riggs, and menage a trois for the lead. Corey Himes out front, and trouble right in front of him. That is Terry Deese goes around with the 06 machine. May have had help. We'll see on the replay here in just a moment. Quinn Houff finds him, say, around there. We'll see if Quinn had anything to do with that or not. Terry
Deese, a veteran racer. A lot of laps here.
Oh, there you go. Yep.
See
a lot
some
of
contact there. The right front pointing in the wrong direction.
Absolutely. We'll see what happens. I mean, it's definitely that car is going to be done. What we talked about earlier, that might be a problem with Brandon Pierce. That is what's going on there with Quinn Houff.
Oh,
Quinn had
Brandon Pierce might have a little bit of pointing in the wrong direction. That's a whole lot. That's
Absolutely.
what you call slightly a whole lot.
Problem for Terry Deese right now, he's got to get going if he wants to stay on the lead lap, and he's going to go down a lap here as he can't get the car turned around. You saw him pointing up the track when we shot to him there, and the problem is you need an X amount of space to get that car turned around, especially when you're pointing up the hill, and he just didn't have that, so he ends up going down a lap. We'll see whether or not he gets that car going again, but it looks like Quinn Houff's night is likely done.
Yeah. And if we don't have a replay, hopefully Jacqueline will be able to talk to him and fill in the details for sure.
I'm sure Jacqueline's, in fact, Jacqueline's already on it. You can see her down there on pit road waiting to see what's going on.
Yeah, you have all hands on deck, including Ronald Hill, who Quinn Houff is running underneath the banner of his father-in-law for this 74. So you'll see the damage to the right front. The tire could be an axle or something. They're looking to have the flashlight out. But just as I say that, let's see Quinn Houff exiting out of his vehicle, done for the day. We'll see if we can grab a word with him in just a moment when he gets his helmet off.
You saw Terry Deese come on and off pit road. Just once over of his car. Car looks to be fine. He went around it. I mean, the car looks to be pretty okay. He's probably going to come back around again. You only have so much time on pit road. So he came around, got the car looked at. They might make an adjustment on that car, but the car looks to be in otherwise one piece. Here is the replay on that incident a little bit earlier. And you see, there's a little bit of contact right there. Not sure if Terry Deese is trying to come up there, if they're just racing hard and Quinn just kind of got into him a little bit. Looked like they're just kind of racing for the same piece of real estate there. Lucky for Deese, you see him come around like that.
Who's the other culprit here? Watch him right here. Who's behind? Oh,
that's
okay.
Eddie Johnson.
Okay, that's it. Okay, I wondered if there was contact with him and Deese, but yeah, you could tell in that shot he was behind him.
Yeah, it looked like, lucky for Deese, you look at right here on the replay, he comes down around and man, he just barely gets missed by a couple guys. And that car looks to be, at least, the couple times we've seen it roll by, it looks to be in good shape, but it is otherwise, he's going to be back behind there a little bit. We're going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's on pit road with Quinn Houff.
Yeah, Quinn just got out of his car. The look on your face really tells it all. Tell us what happened from your point of view.
Yeah, it's just really early in a long race. There's 200 lappers. You can't really take. You need to do some giving. And I had already gone by the 06 before, passed him clean. He was out of control. And just once I got the 12, let him go. He was giving me pressure. 06 tried to fill it and cleared himself on the front stretch. And we were still there, unfortunately.
Tough end tonight for Quinn Houff, who is normally on the Xfinity Series and the Doubles here in the Starcom racing car, but unfortunate end for him. You'll see him there. Ronald Hill, his father-in-law, and his wife Elizabeth, as they are expecting a child as well.
So you see Bobby McCarty here. We talked about it earlier. Did not qualify where he wanted to be. Trying to work his way through the field, and man, that car has already seen some stuff. Yeah. Haven't seen exactly what stuff it has been, but that car has seen some stuff. It looks like he might be coming down to pit road here.
He's got some donuts, and they ain't from Dunkin'.
And they're absolutely going to want to work on that. Caution laps, by the way, do count right here. We're 15 laps away from the first stage finish. We're going to be passing out some money, by the way, at the end of the stage. It's going to be, I believe, 250 laps for winning stage 1 and stage 3. 500 laps for being the leader. $500 for being the leader at the halfway point. Caution laps are counting right now, so we're going to probably come to green right about 10 or 11 laps ago. Here comes Bobby McCarty onto pit road. You see the crew out there. They're waving him on in. They might be checking to see whether or not there's an issue with the left side there.
They're going to jack up from the backside to check the axle or the locker or something like that. Might not have a good feel.
Bobby was not happy with his car, not happy with how he qualified. Just generally not happy about how this race has gone so far. But we'll see what's going on. We're going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake here in just a moment, see what she's got, what she's found out down there.
All hands on deck for the 22 of Bobby McCarty and Nelson Motorsports. They made a quick adjustment, and I tell you that very quick adjustment. They're going to give him the wave, and he's going to rejoin the field. So clearly looking for something a little bit better on the McCarty machine.
Thank you, Jacqueline. I thought maybe they were looking to, he had a funny feeling with the rear end if I saw him twist those tires checking that locker. But great report from Jacqueline Drake, getting the details that they're making a quick adjustment on that left rear.
Like Jacqueline talked about too, you get in here, you only have time for a quick adjustment right now.
Right.
Now you're going to have a little more time at this stage break, just a little, not a lot, but the field's going to come up and you kind of have time right now to plan for what you're going to do in like 13 laps if you need to come back in. At the halfway break, you're going to have 10 minutes. You got time to make a wholesale change. And that could be what they're doing right now. They could be taking a look at it, making a small change now and going, okay, what is the big change we need to make at halftime to try to get this car up front? And for someone like Bobby McCarty that knows his way through these fields, knows what he's doing, you know, it could be a big swing and it could be something to get him back out there. Right now, Bobby McCarty is currently riding around in 33rd place. And he's got a long way to go. I'm going to take a quick look at Twitter out here. I want to say hello to Travis Kerr, the Travis Kerr. Hello from the Ken Childs. You are the Travis Kerr. And he's there with cheering on Butterbean. That is Brendan Queen, driving the 03 machine. Always good to see Butterbean out here, too. Good dude. I say hello to Barbary Coast Dad. Loving their first trip out here to South Boston Speedway. I have that last set of suites right down there, down the end. I'm going to look down there and give you guys a wave right quick. I see you down there at the far end of the place. So hello down there. Yeah, there you are. Oh, yeah, there you are right there, waving right back there. That's awesome.
Right.
Hey, guys.
Fun.
That's awesome.
That is cool.
Getting ready to go back green here, and so glad to have folks here in the suites. If you can get a suite here, that's pretty awesome. Not gonna lie, it is pretty awesome. If you're at home watching, also probably pretty awesome because you probably got a nice spread of food, some drinks.
Oh, yeah.
It's gonna be awesome. But race fans, back on your feet. If you're here, if you're watching on Flow Racing, get on your feet. We're going racing. We got a sprint to the first break here. 12 laps to the end of the first stage. Green flag back in the air, and we're back underway here at the home of big events, South Boston Speedway.
Had a pretty good long run there on green run. A couple of cars have dropped out. Josh Oakley, another car that's in the pits if you're keeping score at home. But Corey Heim chose the top again and used that momentum to clear Jacob Boris in second place.
Carter Langley, you see him on the high side. I think he just wants to be on the high side, and I dig it. Yeah, I remember years ago before the replays and all that, we'd have guys who Drew Herring to Deaton Castles. They'd run all the way up by that white line at the very top there and get a big momentum run coming off the corner. So it's kind of cool seeing Carter Langley like, all right, that's just where my car's going to go. That's where I'm fast. You see him slide a little bit, and here comes a whole mess of cars. Yeah. That is a number 99 machine. That is Lane Riggs. Mason Diaz trying to come along with him. And right behind Mason Diaz is Peyton Sellers, currently second in the national standings behind Lane Riggs. Riggs up to third, Langley back to fourth, Diaz fifth, Peyton Sellers sixth. You see Sellers look to the inside, a little bit of contact there as well. Still a battle going on for the lead. Corey Heim trying to hold off Jacob Boris. Jacob Boris wants that spot. I mean, they all want the spot, but Jacob Boris really wants that spot right now.
He really looks good. That is a Reynolds chassis. He really looks good out there, really putting the pressure on leader Corey Heim. Corey Heim driving for Lee Pulliam Performance. A lot of Lee Pulliam fans here in the stand.
Absolutely.
So they're cheering for him, knowing they would love to see Lee behind the wheel, but they'll cheer for his race cars for sure.
Corey Heim not even a half length ahead of Jacob Boris. Riding around the 30. See him right there, Lane Riggs, your national point leader, just sitting there, waiting to see what's going to happen in front of him. Behind him, Peyton Sellers is all the way back up to fourth, but that battle for lead continues on. You see Sellers in the back of that shot, made his way up to fourth. He has cleared Carter Langley just about.
There was a little bit of contact as they went out of the shot a little minute ago. I saw a little bit of contact with Sellers and the five machine of Carter Langley.
Man, Kyle Dudley and Sam Yarborough, they've been going at it for a while there. I saw that in that shot. Still going at it. Got to dig that. Carter Langley hung up on the high side now, and whatever he's been trying to do up there might not be working for him. He now has a 26 of Peyton Sellers. He has passed him. Mason Diaz is looking to the inside. Here comes the number 77 of Connor Hall as well. Connor Hall wants to take advantage if Diaz can get by him.
Well, I'm telling you, Lane Riggs now is in a position where he can ride, take it easy on his tires, and measure up what he's got to those guys. So if he's not pushing the car hard, but still catches them, that'll let him know he's got a good car. Don't abuse it.
Yep, you just want to try to save it right now. You got what you got for your tires. Meanwhile, behind him, who is not racing easy, that's Mason Diaz, Mason Diaz, Connor Hall, and Carter Langley. Carter Langley's got that spot up there on the high side. And we're coming to the end of the first stage, by the way. We'll see the caution flag here in just a moment. And that's going to be $250, so it appears to probably be Corey Heim as we come in turn number 3. We come off of turn number 4. Yellow flag in hand. That will be the end of stage number 1. $250 for Corey Heim.
Yeah, so what they did on that, what they have to do is let all the field go by for scoring to throw the competition caution. But unfortunately, there's 40 cars, 38 cars out there. So makes it a little bit difficult.
Want to thank Gutter Works coming on board for the $250 for the stage 1 check. That is going to go to Corey Heim. Want to thank Gutter Works for coming on board for that here at the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Late Model 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Corey Heim takes home that check from Gutter Works. Great driving by him. And you see cars already coming onto pit road. A little bit of smoke coming off the car, and you can't tell. We'll see if that's an engine or a tire rub. You never know. Oh, that looks like an engine issue.
That looks like a rear end or a tire rub.
Yeah, there's something going on there, and it ain't pretty. We'll see if Jacqueline Drake down there can get him once he comes onto pit road. But you're going to see a bunch of cars now come onto pit road. And Jacqueline Drake, of course, right about ready for him as they're all coming on down. Here comes Butterbean Queen. We'll throw it down to Jacqueline Drake, see what she's finding out.
The crew members of the 03 is going to remove the duct tape off of the hood and quickly get the hood pins out so they can see exactly what's going on in the 03. You'll also see some crew members looking on the rear end to see if they see any leak coming out of that rear end. They're also looking at the right rear, trying to diagnose this 03 and what's going on underneath the Butterbean Queen hood. We got flashlights out, looking all around now. It could be
You see that work on Brendan Queen's car. They call him Butterbean. Old school video games and more. The fantastic group of folks there. Great advertising. Doc Love, what you got over there?
Man, if you have a 50-50 ticket, here is the blue ticket. Is the winner for the 50-50 ticket. Your winner ticket is a blue ticket. Is 239-3405. Once again, it's a blue ticket for the 50-50 winner. 239-3405. Claim in the main office. Must bring valid ID to get your winnings. But it's a blue ticket, 239-3405. Collect at the main office.
50 laps into tonight's race here at South Boston Speedway for the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. We'll be right back in 2 minutes here on Flow Sports. South Boston Speedway. We have been treated to some great racing so far. By the way, caution flag laps do not count for our stage breaks. So we're right at 50 laps. We're going to stay on 50 laps until we get going back green again. We're going to come to halfway. That's going to be $500.
$500.
Woo. That's nice.
You know how much I could eat with $500?
That is 500 things off the dollar menu.
That's right. I'd go to Taco Bell. That's what I'd do.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'd go for a taco right now. No tacos on the backstretch. However, there's still a lot of great food back on the backstretch. All the concessions. We have concessions in turn number 1. We have concessions on the backstretch. The regular concession stand over in turn number 3, over by trackside parking, and a whole bunch of extra stuff over off of turn number 4, under the big white tent. Go get yourself something to eat. You got a hot minute. Get yourself something to eat. Let's talk a little bit. Well, we'll save that. We'll talk about that here in a minute. Folks, it has been an absolute pleasure and an honor to be here at South Boston Speedway, spending my Independence Day weekend with you all. I hope you all are having a great time. We have treated some great racing in all divisions. So glad each and every one of you here. Make sure you stick around after the race. We got fireworks, folks. Doc, it's going to be a show up there.
Absolutely. Some of the best shows in the Southern Virginia area. I've been up here as a fan, been up here covering the race from the pits, and absolutely one of the best fireworks shows we ever had.
So once again, folks, caution lap flag laps do not count right now. We will be going back green here in just a few moments, and man, we've got 150 laps left to go. If you thought that was good, it's just going to keep getting better and better, folks. Make sure you stick around with us until the fireworks afterward. It's going to be a great, great show. Always is. Always love it here at America's hometown track, the home of big events, South Boston Speedway. Trouble earlier tonight for Brendan Queen in the 03 machine. We're going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake. She is with Brendan Queen.
Yeah, Brennan, unfortunate end to your night here in the 03. Tell us exactly what happened underneath the hood.
Yeah, I knew early on we had an issue. Ended up being a busted oil line, so it started getting really smoky in the car. I lost the brake pedals. We were just trying to hold on to get to the pit stop to see what the problem was, and oil line busted, so can't keep running like that. But that's racing. This place hasn't been too kind to me, and it struck again, but hopefully we go win our second Hampton heat here in a couple weeks, and just look at the positives, and cars in one piece, so just try to come back strong.
Brennan Queen, unfortunate end for him tonight, but he had a knockout weekend just 2 weeks ago, winning in a dirt late model at Dixieland Speedway, followed by a late model stock win at Langley. We'll see who can get it done at Hampton Heat later in July.
It's been a tough time here. Oh, man.
Oh, wow.
Tough break for the 43 machine. Thorne is off the track and done. Driver from Bakersfield, California, came out here, has won everything there is to win in California, out west. Came out here to try to compete with the best of the best out here out east, and looks like mechanical trouble for him for the night. Jacqueline Drake's going to get caught up with him here and find out what's going on.
Yeah, she's chasing him down now. She's coming around. She's going to talk to him. Here we go. Let's get down to Miss Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline?
Yeah, Derek Thorne, you had a lot of anticipation to hit the high banks here at South Boston Speedway, but tell us how that 43 ended up.
Just proud of these guys. They worked their butts off all weekend. The car was pretty good. Something's wrong with the transmission. It keeps popping out of gear. And the car wasn't bad. I just didn't want to risk wrecking it, being that far back in the pack, and stack up anybody else with me.
Well, Derek Thorne, he'll be able to retire for this evening, making his late model stock debut this weekend. First time at Sobo since the repave. He was here in 2008 in the ARCA East Series.
I want to give a shout out to Dean Ward, the dad of the 77. Trevor Ward, his dad, raced at Bowman Gray and got in a crash, broke his wrist, had to have surgery. So just want to give a shout out to Dean Ward. We're thinking about you, and I know you're proud of your boys racing. Dylan's racing all over, and Trevor's here giving them a call here for Dean Ward, and hopefully Dean will be recovering soon.
Trevor Ward currently about mid-pack right now, trying to wake his way back up to the front. But back out front, we were back racing. Corey Heim shot out of a cannon on that restart. Got a little bit of a battle back in the field there. Side-by-side battle for second. It's going to be Jacob Borst to the inside. It is Lane Rinks to the outside. Jacob Borst has a spot, and he's going to battle Corey Heim for the lead as they come off of turn number 4. Corey Heim holding the high side. Lane Rinks trying to make that high side work on the top side of Jacob Borst. Waiting in the wings is Peyton Sellers. That is 1-2 in the national championship standings. Lane Rinks, Peyton Sellers.
Oh, I saw a little puff of smoke from one of them of the top 4. Couldn't quite tell who that was. See if we can see this shot here. I think Lane Riggs might have a little puff of smoke in the center of the turns. It might be just a small tire rub, and it'll take care of itself. See that there?
Absolutely, yes.
So didn't know if that's when he gets back into gas sometimes. You'll see the puff of smoke sometimes when you got something going on with the oil rings and things like that. But smooth sailing up front for Corey Heim.
Corey Heim's got that advantage. He's got Jacob Borst in his mirror. It doesn't seem to bother him all too much. He has got that spot, running a different line through 1 and 2 than he is in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, he's right down on that yellow line. You see him there, Jacob Borst right in his mirror. He's going to come down the backstretch and watch him through 3 and 4. About a half a groove to a groove up, and he's making that work. He's diamonding that corner off just a little different, and Jacob Borst just can't do anything with him.
Right. Yeah, and to Corey's credit, man, he sees what Jacob's trying to do, so he's taking his line away from him.
Absolutely.
And maintaining speed. How hard is that? That shows the talent of that young man.
Yeah, Borst is doing his best right now. Just can't find a way to get underneath Corey Heim. And all that's happening in front of first and second place, and the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series National Championship. Lane Riggs, Peyton Sellers, 1-2 right now. 3rd and 4th on the track, but both of them kind of riding around. They're both veterans. Peyton's always a little bit more of a veteran there. Got a battle back in the field just a little bit. That's Mike Looney, Mason Diaz. That battle is for 7th. Looney is on the inside, Diaz on the outside. Looks like Looney's going to make that happen, but Diaz is a hard fighter on that outside, trying to make that work. Will not. A little bit of a tap almost.
He
down on the
got
apron.
on the binder to avoid it. And there's a little history there.
Yep.
It goes back to the car story at Hickory Motor Speedway. But they said everything is put behind them, and then they had some shenanigans, as you like to say, at Southern National Motorsports Park with the Cars Tour race. But as you saw there, it has been squashed because he got on the binders to let him go.
Connor Hall looking to the inside. Carter Langley is, look, if he could buy any real estate on that house side, he would invest wholeheartedly. As this race has gone on, he is drifting up and up that track, trying to make that work. Connor Hall looks to the inside, and you know, right now it's not really working for Connor Hall. It is working for Ring, but you see that car just a little loose, and he might be chasing it up the track just a little bit. And you see him, no one is running as high up the track as Carter Langley anywhere on the track right now, at least on purpose.
Yeah. Looks like Mike Looney's got a little nose damage up above the top lip there where the
shouldn't be any trouble there though.
Comes there, so I don't know if that's going to upset the aero handling of the car.
So you see Carter Langley holding that high side, drifting way up the track. And again, before the repave, you'd have guys occasionally, they just find something on that high groove. Deke McCaskill did that for a long time.
Yeah.
Drew Herring did that. Caution on the speedway. Trouble off of turn number 2. That is Chris Denny goes around, and he is missing the left rear wheel. Ton of damage to that car. Trying to see if there's anybody else on the track with that kind of damage. Looking back around to see who else has what for damage, because man, that is a, it looks like Denny may have caught the barrels on the inside and just took off the left rear wheel on that. Is the only thing I can think of what happened there. But that thing is
that the tire wrapped around the rim?
Man, I can't
tell what that is. That's an odd scene right there.
That is I mean, it looks like, so you'll see there's a little streak right behind him where maybe he came to a stop. I don't know. We're perplexed up here.
It looks like it's missing from that shot.
Yeah.
Holy cow.
He is going to get out of that car with significantly less car than he got in the car with.
Yeah, it's all the way on the ground there. So, yeah, parts are missing.
Absolutely.
Pretty important parts are missing on that left rear. Hate that for him because he had a fantastic run the last time we were racing late model stocks here. Almost won the thing if they would have kept running into each other, Jacob Borst and Peyton Sellers. And he was right there on him. He was within striking distance.
The thing is right now, I can't find another car on the track with a ton of damage. I can't find the left rear of that car.
Yeah, usually when they panned out, you'd see it. Yeah. So.
Yeah, I don't see. They're going to get that thing hooked up. The great folks at Franklin's Record do a great job in here getting these cars. Yeah. They've been doing this a long time with Franklin's Record Service.
Yeah.
They're the official record service of South Boston Speedway for a reason. They're really good at this. You see Denny got out of his car. Chris Denny, he's fine, but man, I am perplexed. Yeah. Thomas Scott is on pit road, down at the entrance to turn, or the exit of turn number 4, the entrance to pit road on that side. Thomas Scott's down on pit road, and we'll see what's going on down there.
Yeah, the A crew has 2 tires out, ready to make a tire change. They're going to focus on this left front on the 08. The 8 car is a new car for Thomas Scott, so we'll see something must have happened here to the left front tire. They're going to swap that out, get it back bolted on. The crew looks to also make a few more adjustments on the right front as well. They're running all the way around. We'll see what this Seller Racing team can do to get Scott ready and back out onto the track.
Chat with Thomas Scott earlier today, and he said it's a new car. The last time he raced it, he had no power steering. So trying to work the bugs out of the car, and it looks like something else has happened that left front. You see these cars, they have a lot of fenders that kind of stick out. You think of the old Cup cars, the old metal ones that had the, you know, you cut a tire, you get too close to somebody. You get a lot of that with these late model stocks. And you end up with something like that where the car just, it catches something just right. You can cut a tire real fast. Yeah. Thomas Scott, that's a family-run race team.
We'll let the 31 at Donnelly come by here and see if we can get a sneak at that left side. Might be another participant there. Oh, wow,
yeah, that's
look at that damage.
Well, that may be where we
And that's
found.
a perfect circle. That's a donut right there.
And
it ain't from
and
Duncan.
that looks like it matches right up pretty well with a 30 with his the 2 car of Chris Denny there. Maybe that's what happened. We I can't figure out where the rest of that car
Yeah,
went.
I want to see an up close to see if the tire was wrapped around.
Oh, the tire. All right, so the tire's in there. Something broke somehow. It must have been contact with that 31, and it is. So the tire is in there, as we're being told, but it is way up in there.
Yeah, mechanical failure, no doubt, and possibly contact there with the 31.
Hate that for Chris Denny. That's a good group of guys. Work real hard on that race car. Come up from Rougemont, North Carolina. Pass that on the way up here, and man, they do a good job. And just you were talking about it. They know what they're doing with that team. They're a really good race team. They need the luck. You know, they had a shot at winning last time out. They just need that luck.
Yep, and it was just he and his brother here on test day and on race day, and then had a couple of guys come join him later in the day, but it was just he and his brother.
Yep.
And it's good to see them when they get to run well. Jason Myers in the hit the pits to make some adjustments. Josh Oakley, after setting on pit road, is moving on pit road. I don't know if he's going around, join the track, or go around to where his trailer is possible.
Thomas Scott's been back on and off pit road once again. Looks like just a minor adjustment for them. Get that car worked out. You know, see what happened on there.
He must have had a flat and had to be approved by an official.
Absolutely.
This is a 4-tire race, so. Because you and I looked at each other like, man, they changed the tires like they was, making a swap to be ready for the rest of the race, but it had to have been, official approved.
Field's double filing up right now. We're going to take one to go next time by. Jacob Borst on the inside. That is still Corey Heim on the outside, liking that high groove. Peyton Sellers will restart in third on the inside of Lane Riggs. Lane Riggs closed that outside spot. Going to give you a quick rundown of the top 10. Corey Heim is your leader. Jacob Borst in second. Lane Riggs third. Peyton Sellers fourth. Carter Langley fifth. Connor Hall sixth. Mike Looney seventh. Mason Diaz eighth. Carson Quapple ninth. Kyle Dudley still hanging on to 10th. Nice. Good showing by those guys. Jared Fryer, Connor Jones, Sandy Yarborough, Landon Pendleton, Minnie Tyrell, your top 15. And we're going to throw up that. We're going to take a look at the 2 again here. And there is Chris Denny right now. And
see if we can get a good close-up. They're going to try to wiggle their way in there. Not a lot of room. Appreciate the cameraman working so hard. Look at that. Yeah, he's trying to block. He don't want people to see what's up in there. That's what he's doing. That's not by coincidence. They must have some good secrets in there.
Getting ready to go back green here. 69 laps. Nice. We got 30 laps to the halfway break. We are sitting here with 30 to go as we come by next time by. $500, by the way, from Sparks Oil for the halfway break leader. Corey Heim will lead the field to the green. They come out of the south side disposal restart zone. And again, Heim is killing it on that restart. Good run on the outside. Jacob Borst again to the inside. And if Borst could just find something out there, he'd have a shot at it. But Corey Heim has just got the outside, especially off of turn 4, working real, real well. He holds the lead. Jacob Borst in second. Here comes Lane Riggs on the outside with third.
Yep, Lane ain't scared to go out there and try the top side. If Jacob Borst leaves that bottom open, he's going to stick a nose right on there.
Side-by-side battle. That is for third. That is your top 2 in the national championship points. Lane Riggs has a spot. Peyton Sellers wants it. Sellers on the inside, gets a nose. Riggs kind of clears him, and then clears him for good going into turn number 3. They're going to come off a 4 nose to tail. That battle, just good racing all the way through the field, Bob.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's a veteran move. No need to push it this early. I mean, you think about most of the competitors on here wasn't born when he won his first track title here, you know?
My God, really.
And I think Sellers, he's younger than I am, so I think he's still young.
Absolutely. And Corey Heim is he's got that car hooked up and he's working it exactly where he wants the car to be. Here's Peyton Sellers. Peyton Sellers holding on to 4th place at the moment. Carter Langley's got the outside working. He's currently riding around in 5th place, 4th place. we'll call it even almost as you come off the corner. Langley's got that car worked out. He's been trying to work that top groove in. Just about has him. Peyton Sellers, running here a long time, knows what he's doing on that bottom side. He's going to stay ahead of Carter Langley, but can't quite get up the track. Sellers wants to get all the way to the wall off the corner and just can't do it with the 5 car there. And because of that, he's losing ground to Lane Riggs up in 3rd.
Yeah, now if he can clear him here and start working his way on the top side a little bit better. Yeah, here we go. Got him cleared. Now we'll see if he can close the gap to get up there and race with Lane Riggs.
And you saw right there a veteran move by Peyton Sellers. Drifts up the track to take away that spot for Carter Langley. Carter Langley wants to get up there and just couldn't do it. And now Sellers starts to pull away just a little bit. And maybe Sellers saw something a minute or two. He's tried it again up there. Didn't necessarily get it, came back down. Behind Carter Langley, we've got a battle for 6th place. Mike Looney is looking to the inside of Connor Hall. Looney to the inside, Hall on the high side. Hall is being blocked a little bit by Carter Langley up there. So Connor Hall really nowhere to go. If Mike Looney can make the bottom side work, Mike Looney's going to get ahead of both these guys.
Absolutely, because he's hard charging, and he's just knifed his way up through the field. Already passed Quapple, and Mason Diaz just got past Connor Hall. Connor Hall looked like he almost got up in the top side wall, but tries to recover. But Mason Diaz fills the hole there.
Absolutely. Diaz trying to make that work on the inside. Connor Hall on the high side. And Hall looks good there coming off the high side. Almost like he's backing the corner up a little bit and just getting a hard run coming back off. Yeah. And a little bit there, but Diaz all over his bumper. Diaz doing a good job not getting into him, though. You see right ahead of him, Mike Looney's looking to the inside of Carter Langley. Carter Langley still trying to make that high side work. They come up a little bit, and this is where Carter's been able to hold him back. Langley's been up there. These guys all to get that momentum coming off the corner. You see the leaders right here. They're going to go down in the corner, get right about the yellow line. They're going to drift all the way up the track to the wall, get a good run coming back down there. Carter Langley holding that high side is keeping the guys below him from doing that, and they don't have the momentum coming off the corner. It's just bogged down. You see it right here. Looney's a little loose, trying to hold down to the bottom. Carter Langley's there. He's holding that spot. He's keeping Looney from getting the speed off there, and that's why the guys ahead of him are just checking out on him. Peyton Sellers is just riding around in 4th. Meanwhile, they're battling side by side for 5th. Looks like Looney's got the advantage a little bit loose there, but Doc, Carter Langley's making this thing work on the high side.
Yeah, he is really holding his own and doing fine with some nationally acclaimed race car drivers. Very proud of that young man. He's doing a fantastic job. Good-looking race cars, solid rock carriers on board there. And he's right there running with the People Champ with Connor Jones, who has been one of the hottest late model stock cars outside of Riggs and Sellers. Has got multiple wins with the Cars Tour, and then started really a good run. Started last year at Hickory Motor Speedway, setting a new track record, and then everywhere he's gone, he has just been lights out.
Mike Looney looks like he's going to clear Carter Langley. Carter Langley in that bright neon 5. You can never have enough neon, man. And Carter Langley gets cleared by Mike Looney, but man, he made Mike Looney work for that. And again, it's a 4-tire race. We're not changing tires at halfway. What you got. So the harder you got to work right now to get past Carter Langley, the less you're going to have trying to race for the lead later on.
That's exactly what I was thinking. Running that high side like that and not spinning the tires, not binding the car down, he's going to have the advantage and hopefully really not using the tires up by running the line that he's running.
You know, they haven't been racing side by side, but these two up front, Corey Heim, Jacob Boris, they are putting on a show right now. Jacob Boris, and the thing is, we don't know what Jacob Boris actually has.
Right.
Is this all he's got? Is he trying to get by Corey Heim right now? Or is he letting Corey Heim set the pace, and Heim is pushing it hard?
Kind of like I was talking about earlier. Is he just running, to conserve and just maintain position, and he's on him? Is that how good his car is?
Absolutely.
That Reynolds chassis is looking really good, rotating good.
Alternately, how hard is Corey Heim pushing?
Right.
Is Corey Heim backing it down? And this is all Jacob Boris has to try to keep with him. It's a lot of gamesmanship. And you don't know what they got. You don't know what they're necessarily telling Jacob Boris. Jacob Boris is a young driver. He's got a lot of great talent in his ear, telling him what he needs to be doing and all that. Corey Heim's a great driver. He's a young driver. Also, he's got Lee Pulliam in his ear. Not many better than that. But both of those guys could just be right on. Man, we have got a hornet's nest back for 7th place right now. That's Connor Hall. Mason Diaz looks at his inside. Right behind them is Carson Quapple in 9th. And that is a lot of hard racing. A little bit of beating, a little bit of banging.
A little bit of leaning.
Yep.
And you saw that shot before, the Connor Hall left front brake.
Yep.
Blowing a little bit. Don't hardly see that from any other cars from our vantage, but you can see it.
He's on those brakes real hard.
Yeah, he's getting that car to rotate on those brakes, so we'll have to keep track of that.
So that's Connor Hall right now, all over the back of Carter Langley. That battle is for 6th. That's 6th, 7th, 8th, and 9th on your screen right now if you're watching live at Home and Flow Racing. Want to say hello. Thank you for welcoming us into your home. And man, we're just a few laps away from halfway. $500 courtesy of Sparks Oil for the halfway point leader. We'll have a 10-minute break. Jacqueline Drake's going to try to trot with as many people as possible. But man, that's some great battling right there. Mid-pack, and you know these guys want to save what they can for the second half of this race, right? But everyone looks like they're just fighting tooth and nail for every spot they've got.
Yeah, and of course, you know, if you're the leader, you got two ways you can play it: run away and hope that when the tires, you know, start going away, that you're far enough away that they can't catch you. So these guys are trying not to let the leaders get away from them. And of course, we'll have some restarts, but I think there's going to be a couple drivers behind the top 5 that are conserving tires that are going to become players when we get into the second half of the race.
See what happens here. We have Chris Elliott in the 91, and up above him is Corey Heim trying to get around him on the high side. This battle is going to be at halfway. We are at halfway. That is going to be Corey Heim taking the $500 from Sparks Oil for the halfway break. We'll talk about some of these drivers that make their way up the field a little bit. Some of these guys we talked about with trouble early, they made their way back up. Halfway on the thing, and caution flag flies, and we're at the halfway break. Once again, folks, caution laps do not count for the stage breaks, including this halfway break. We're going to have a 10-minute break, and Jacqueline Drake is going to try to talk to as many folks as we can down there.
Look at them glasses behind Brandon. Did you see that?
Yep.
More neon.
Want to thank Sparks Oil Sunoco for the halfway break check. That's going to be $500, courtesy of Sunoco and Sparks Oil. Going to Corey Heim, who's now $750 richer already before even the race is over. He's led a whole bunch of laps out here. Jacob Boris has been right there, but it's Corey Heim who's been the class of the field thus far. Want to thank Sunoco coming on board. $500 goes to Corey Heim, courtesy of the great folks at Sunoco. Caution flag in the air. We're halfway break, and we were talking about some of these drivers that have had trouble trying to work their way through the field. Bobby McCarty back up to 18th after being on pit road early. Brandon Pierce, after that incident with the 28 machine, up to 21st. And big shout out, Kyle Dudley, still riding around in 10th. Had a good qualifying run, had really optimal weather for that. A little bit of cloud cover, a little bit of, little cooler. Put down a good qualifying run, but man, he has held that spot, holding on to a top 10 at halfway.
Corey Heim back with his spotter Lloyd, so he's got some familiar people around him here with the short track. So see another shot of the fans there.
Absolutely.
It's so awesome to see so many fans coming out here, and this is the kind of crowd that we're expecting in each and every race night.
We always have such a big crowd out here all the time, and just it's been, big crowds week in and week out, but man, this crowd out here has just been spectacular. If you're here at the track, we want to thank you again. We cannot thank you enough for coming out here and making South Boston such a great racetrack to race at, such a great racetrack to come to a race at, such a great race to come announce at. I am honored and privileged to be here with you all tonight watching this race. Thank you so much for being here. If you're watching live home at Flow Racing, get out to the track if you can. If you can't get to South Boston, get to your own hometown track. Look up the NASCAR Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Series online. You can find your local track right there. Come on out to the track, see what's going on. I promise you've got a track closer than you think. Come out and enjoy some great racing. And we want to thank everyone for joining us, including that gentleman in the Dale Jr. shirt with the American flag in his hat. Love it, love it, love it. And
I think that's Kenny Lang. That
was Kenny Lang. Want to give Kenny Lang a shout out.
Give him a shout out. That's my twin bro, man.
Love Kenny Lang. Kenny Lang's been at, if there's a racetrack, Kenny Lang's been to it.
Yeah.
Super glad to see him back out here.
Ask him any question. He's a historian of
Absolutely.
South Boston Speedway and great racing throughout Southern Virginia. Man, he is a super fan for sure. We love Kenny Lane.
So the fans, the field is coming onto pit road. The 10-minute break does not start until all the cars are stopped. Teams are not supposed to be working on the cars until all the cars are stopped. You'll see people getting in position. The cars don't go to the pit spots and just line up on pit road as they are. Just makes life a lot easier for everybody. We can't change tires, but you can make any adjustment you can make on pit road during a race are the adjustments you can make on the cars right now. You see all sorts of different jacks coming up and stuff like that. You're going to see a lot of wholesale changes. Jacqueline Drake will be able to tell us exactly what's going on down there. She has had this field covered start to finish since the beginning of the race. And you see just a crowd of the cars coming on right now. And there's just a mass of humanity coming onto pit road, getting ready to go. You see fans coming on the track, and the cars are just about all stopped. They're not allowed to work on the car, but they're allowed to put fans in front of the cars and stuff like that. Once the cars are all stopped, you'll see everyone get right to work. We got 10 minutes, and it looks like we're just about ready to go with these changes right here.
Yep. They're going to try to get us close to get things ready.
And as a driver, some people are going to be at their cars. Some people are going to stay in their cars. A lot of guys are going to get up, just go walk around.
Landon Pemberton getting out already.
Absolutely, yeah. You're going to want to get out, get some cool air in you, maybe go to the bathroom, maybe have a bologna burger. You got time.
That's right. Wonder if we can talk Jacqueline into go getting a bologna burger. Show everybody what
Absolutely
we're talking
should.
You see Mark Wirtz there, took an ice pack, put it in there. You know that's hot.
Absolutely.
There you go, Mark.
So we got a great field of cars out there. Still a lot of cars on the lead lap. It looks like right now. Checking to see, we have 27 cars on the lead lap. Chris Elliott, the first car lap down. Brandon Pierce also one lap down. And so we'll see here in a moment what's going on down on the track. And all right, we're going to get Jacqueline here in just a moment. Jacqueline Drake will meet up with Corey Heim, taking the halfway leader award from Sunoco. Also got the first stage winner award from Gutterwork. So $750 richer already for Corey Heim. And you see it's just a massive humanity down there. Everyone's got some changes. They've had 100 laps to figure this out. And we're going to toss it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's going to be with Corey Heim down at the start front of the field.
Yeah, I'm down here with the 78 of Corey Heim, who's been able to dominate this race so far. Corey, from your point of view, what have you had over Jacob Boris? He's been on your back bumper throughout this feature event, but you've been able to overcome him.
Yeah, I feel like our Toyota Camry's strong here tonight. It's a long race on one set of tires, so really just trying to kind of manage our time. I think pretty much everyone in the field has the same mindset. We got a whole other race to go here, so halfway doesn't pay anything, so I'm hoping to be there at the end.
Halfway actually did pay you as well as the first stage. So you did bank $750 thanks to the South Boston sponsors. But as you look forward to the rest of the 100 laps, you obviously got your water here. How hot is it inside of that car and the conditions on how to keep your mind straight for the next half?
Yeah, it's definitely warm. It's middle of summer in South Boston, Virginia, so it's definitely warm out here, but this is what we train for and this is what we live for, so I'm looking forward to it.
Well, Corey Heim clearly confident in his position so far in the 78 and what Lee Pulliam Performance has provided him.
Lee Pulliam has won 6 of these races in a row at one point, and if anyone's going to know the way around this track, it's Lee Pulliam. Anytime you can get your crew chief to be a guy who a grandstand is named after him, Doc, that's who you want crew chief in your car.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. And when he got to the front and looked down below us, see a lot of fans up and cheering him on. So they are really high on Lee Pulliam and his drivers. Let's go back down to Jacqueline Drake.
Yeah, one man who would love to get one spot higher is the 25 here of Jacob Boris, and you have been a ghost of sorts, just slowly hiding behind the 78, waiting for any mistake to happen. What are they telling you on the radio and your strategy?
Yeah, just try to save. We still have 100 laps. It's like 4 different races in this, so I didn't really want to pass them. Nobody else was pressuring me from behind. I think all of us were racing really smart, just saving our stuff. And there's not really any reason to go race each other hard or wear out your stuff. And it's just not worth it right now. So, we're just staying on the bumper, maybe waiting for him to make a mistake. But, we're just trying to save our stuff for the end. And, our car feels pretty good. I don't think we're going to make any changes. I think we're going to keep it like it is. So, I'm hoping the car feels just as good as it does at the end, but we'll see how it goes.
Jacob Borsch just recently graduated from high school. He has 2 wins so far here at Sobo and 1 pole, looking to add another win to the title here.
Well, we were talking about that a little bit earlier as far as what is Jacob Borsch doing? How hard is he pushing it? There you go. Not pushing it that hard, Doc.
And you see the notice, did you notice the difference between the two? Corey Heim didn't look like he was sweating at all. He looked cool. I mean, he looked like he didn't even break a sweat. Jacob Borsch looked like he was pretty hot and sweaty.
For what it's worth, Jacob Borsch looked like that at the driver's meeting, too. So Jacob's been sweating this whole day.
He looks like a football player.
Absolutely. But, it's hot out there, man. It is a warm day. It's been warm all day. And, the best driver is going to figure out how to keep cool. You see Carson Quapple out there with a big bottle of water. We're going to toss it back down to Jacqueline Drake on pit road.
We're down here with Peyton Sellers of 26. He's asking me questions, but I got questions for you. You're currently sitting P4 on a 200 lapper here. You got 100 underneath your belt. How does your car feel for this next half?
This 26 car is pretty good. It's just, we're trying to find a good hole right there to be able to save some tires, and we were able to do it. Carter was coming pretty hard on the high side and had to work a little more than I wanted to get, clear of him, and then Mike's coming too. So a lot of good cars will be making their charge right now. We've been just trying to be smart and save some tire, make a few adjustments. I was a little bit too tight right there, and I think HC will get us dialed in, and this old Damel Toyota Clarence's Steakhouse car should hold out for the 200.
You talked a little bit about your strategy and what you can do. As a veteran out here, we talked about it earlier, you do have the upper hand on many of these drivers. I know you're being humble there, but you got a few secrets underneath your belt. At what point would you say in this feature is the time to go?
We got to get through this next break with 50 to go. That's when you're going to see everybody turn the wick up a little bit. And, these are fast cars out here. The tires are really good, and we're running them harder than we all are used to. So they're staying under them. So I'd like to think my experience would help a little bit, but I think right now it's just going to be flat out.
Peyton Sellers, number 26, again sitting in 4th. 2021 National Points champion, currently 2nd in the National Points behind Lane Riggs, who we were unable to find him. We'll see. Oh, he's back. We'll see if we can grab a word with him.
See more work there on Mini Tyrell. Let's see. 4 minutes on the clock as you saw the officials walk by there. So, and we're going to go back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's got caught up with Lane Riggs.
Yeah, Lane Riggs down here. You had a, why don't you put that back up there? There you go. He has a bag of ice on his shoulder, which leads me to the question, did you pop your shoulder out of socket again?
I did not. It's just trying to stay as cool as we can. The cooler our bodies are, the cooler our minds are too. So just trying to be better there at the end. And I didn't feel like I had the best car right there, so just going to try to work on it a little bit. I know the track's a lot different than it is at these local shows, all the rubber on it. So don't think we made the quite right adjustments for the first 100. Try to save my stuff. Hopefully we'll make the right ones right here and we can get up to the front.
Talking a little bit about your car, the strategy you had in the beginning was a little bit aggressive, but you made your way up to 3rd. Now you're watching the 78 and the 25 of Jacob Borsch, and you're able to see their position and how they are running this track. Have you learned anything from them by just sitting back and watching?
I just know they're really good on restarts. I'm giving them my all on the green flag, and they can check out about a half straightaway, and then we can equalize out. So to make the proper adjustments, we can fire off better. I think we'll be better at the end. Stay cool, keep everybody's heads cool. I know it's going to get a little crazy, so if we can stay out of the carnage, I'll be happy.
Lane Riggs currently sitting P3. Glad to hear your shoulder's not out of socket. That's where he was this last fall in 2021. He was laying right behind this wall here with his shoulder out of socket, and his dad, Scott Riggs, was able to help him out.
Yeah, they did it the old-fashioned way. They popped it themselves back in.
See Kyle Dudley down there, staying very hydrated. Man, Kyle has had a show tonight. He's been racing real hard pretty much all night long.
Watch when he, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Watch when he pull up his suit. If you're not familiar with Kyle Dudley, got the coolest suit in all of motorsports, period, not just late model stock. Hopefully he'll turn around. You see the front of it. Check this out if you've never seen it before. Turn around, Kyle. Turn around. There you go.
There you go, Kyle.
It looks like a tuxedo. Come on, turn around so we can see it.
It's because Kyle's a classy fella. That's why.
That's right. That's right.
I believe at one point he was the king of Franklin County,
yes,
if I remember that some time ago.
Yeah.
Throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's still on pit road.
Yeah, rounding out the top 5 is the 87 of Mike Looney. He's already ready to go. He's back in, strapped in his car. He's not wasting any time. Mike, Tell us how that 87 is treating you so far.
Oh, having a good time here so far. Car's tuned up, running well. It's actually pretty comfortable in here. I got my little air conditioning hose going. Been riding around minding our own business, trying to just pick them off one at a time. Think we got a pretty good car. Still a long way to go. The second half is when stuff gets real. This is when the race starts right here. So, long way to go. A lot of obstacles to yet to overcome. So, we keep our fingers crossed, see if we can get a little closer.
Mike Looney, talk about veterans in the field. He's running in that Reynolds Racing chassis car. You watch out for the 87 in the second half.
Folks, we're 100 laps down in this race, 100 laps to go. And folks, if you thought the first 100 laps was great, the second 100 laps could be even better. We'll be back in 2 minutes right here on Flow Racing. Still 100 laps to go. Again, caution flag laps will not count when we come back from caution. We're going to roll around a couple minutes, get everyone lined back up, and then go right back green here. And we'll still have another $250 coming up at with 50 laps to go here at the break. And it's been a great night of racing so far. Still fireworks to come on, and they're going to fire those fireworks somewhere back there off the backstretch. And it is always a great fireworks show, the best in Southern Virginia. You still got time, folks. We got a great concession stand back behind turn 4. A bonus one tonight. It's just so busy tonight. Get back there. Get yourself something to eat. Get yourself something to drink. Pop on down to the Michael Waltrip racetrack bar right down there. When you walked in the track, just off to the left, right next to the souvenir store. Get yourself something to drink down there. A lot of great food, a lot of great drink. Get yourself a bologna burger. It's not too late. It is never too late to have a bologna burger. I cannot stress that enough. You got time now. You got time until we fire off the fireworks. There is always time for a bologna burger.
If you're here for the first time, tweet us.
Oh, yeah.
Your experience at the South Boston Speedway. Tweet us you having your first bologna burger. We want to see it. Share it with us.
That is at Silbo Speedway 57, hashtag Thunder Road HD 200. Make sure you tag at Silbo Bologna as well. They're out there. Want to say hi to me and Doc up here at the Ken Childs. We'll get over to me and Doc, and we'll say hello to you and see what's going on down there. We saw a couple people down to the far suite down there. I want to give you guys another wave. Hey, guys. Good to see you guys down there. And race fans, we're so glad to have each and every one of you here. We still have a bunch of racing to go left this season. We'll talk about that in just a few moments. 100 laps to go here at South Boston Speedway, the home for big events. It's going to be a great 100 laps. Final 100 laps of the night coming up in just a few moments. So we got, right now we're looking at tonight, of course, July 2nd, Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200, presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. So glad to have each and every one of them here. 2 weeks from tonight, Billy's AC service night here at South Boston. 100 laps on the late model stocks, twin 30s for the limited sportsman. Southside Disposal, Pure Stocks, and Hornets all in action. Saturday, August 6th, late model stock car, twin 65s, late limited sportsman 50 laps for the Davenport Energy Night of the Races. Italian Delight Family Restaurant. We're going to be celebrating 65 years of racing at South Boston Speedway. That is on August 20th, and then we'll finish up the season on September 3rd, Doc. We're nearing the end of the season already. It seems like some of us just started at the track not too long ago. We're going to throw it on down to Jacqueline Drake, who is, she's got something special going on down in the infield. Jacqueline, what you got?
Well, guys, we've been running up and down pit road, so of course you need a snack. And the best snack here at South Boston is none other than the famous bologna burger. So we're going to go ahead and take just a quick bite. We got crew members out here trying to take a bite. We were standing in line. People are going crazy over the world's best bologna burger.
Atta girl, Jacqueline.
Yes.
Yeah, atta girl. So I'll tell you what, we talked about it beforehand, whether or not she's going to grab a bologna burger. What was she going to get on it? Looks like we went with cheese, Jacqueline. Is that what we got going on?
Just cheese, guys, just cheese.
It still looks delicious. I went with onions earlier
good.
today, and I mean, you get it however you want it. That's the thing. I'm not going to judge.
And that's a good point. You can get them with onions. You can get them just with cheese. You can get them by themselves.
Man, that is
they
a,
make
that is
to
a
order.
girthy piece of bologna, too. Girthy piece of bologna. And, man, it was. I had mine first one of the year, and it was delicious. Jacqueline, I believe that is her first one of the year as well. And
Absolutely, and I'll be hitting up Martinsville later this year for the hot dog.
oh man, it is a big day.
Oh my goodness.
For processed meat here in Southern Virginia.
I love those hot dogs. I kind of overdo it. I pop them in like Tic Tacs.
Buddy, there's no way you can possibly overdo a Martinsville Speedway hot dog. Speaking of Virginia Triple Crown, we are halfway through the first leg of the Virginia Triple Crown. We're going to go from here. We're going to bounce our way over to Langley Speedway in about 3 weeks or so for the Hampton Heat. And it's called the Hampton Heat. It's a hot one. It is always hot. It could be cloud cover. It's going to be hot no matter what. Hey, I want to give a shout out very quick to Kevin Harris, K Harris 9898. He's having a nice cold beverage watching us live on Flow Racing. Hello, Kevin. That's a nice setup you got there. I'm digging that.
Cool setup,
yeah, I'm digging that. Of course, you can hit us hashtag Thunder Road HD 200. Oh, hey, it's Brendan Queen.
Earlier in the day.
Yeah, earlier in the day when he's feeling a little better about this. Had a oil hose go earlier in the night. His night is done, but always glad to see Brendan Queen out here at the racetrack whenever he can come out to South Boston. And yep, it was a broken oil line. A tough night for Butterbean. He really wanted to have a good race. He comes out to this race every year and something gets him, and he thought tonight might be the night, and tonight was just more issues.
Brandon Gray, Brandon Hard Gray, the underscore car. Watching local late model stock car racing is better than any national series. Love to see these grassroots teams get it done. Pulling hard for our buddy Jared Fryer. Thank you, South Boston Speedway, for putting on a great show. Virginia Triple Crown.
And there's a shot from the South Boston Speedway official Twitter. Again, Sobo Speedway 57. Quinn Huff trouble tonight. Got tangled up with the 06 earlier tonight, and his night is done. And there is that race car all tangled up.
Thank y'all for participating with our Tweet the Seats.
Absolutely.
Keep them coming. Keep them coming. And speaking of coming on, here comes the field of late model stock cars. Look at
100 laps to go. Race fans, get on your feet. If you're here at the track, if you're home on Flow Racing, get on your feet. We're going racing 100 laps of the checkered flag. Pace cars off turn 4. Brandon Willer's got the green flag. He throws it in there. We're back underway, and immediately it is once again Corey Hind fired out there. And here comes Jacob Borst.
We'll see if
here
that
comes
sticks.
Lane Riggs.
Yep. No caution. That was a good start.
And here we go. Again, Corey Hind has been killing it on the start. And here comes Jacob Borst. Here comes Lane Riggs. Peyton Sellers nose to tail front 4. Got almost a bit of a Donnie Brook happen back there behind them. That's Mike Clooney riding around in 6. You see them right there in your shot. Mooney's on the high side, and once again, it's Mason Diaz trying to get to the inside. And ooh, it is gaggle. Ooh, that is a lot of cars.
Thomas Scott there in the 8 car, making his way through. Not sure he had a little contact there. I thought that might have been Trevor Ward, but everybody keeps it going straight.
Mike Clooney up on the high side. That is Mason Diaz on the inside. Then he pulls away though. May have found something on that high side, maybe not. We'll see here in just a little bit. The 8 car of Carson Quapple been riding around the top 10 all night. Really hasn't had anything for the leaders yet. Speaking of leaders, there they are. Throw a blanket on them. There's your top 4. You see that is a 99 of Lane Riggs trying to make that bottom flat part work like he used to be able to do back in the day. It doesn't quite grip like it used to down there. He's still trying to make it work though, and so far he's hanging there. Trouble coming down on turns 1 and 2. Can't see him in shot right now. Thomas Scott with more trouble with his car. Might be done.
Oh man,
that's too bad for them.
I hate to see that.
You see out front here. Here comes Lane Riggs on the inside of Jacob Borst.
He might just be sizing him up. I don't know if he's wanting to.
You see, Corey Hind has decided we're going to use that high groove the whole way around the track, and he is way up there.
Yeah, he's leaving that bottom groove open if somebody
Absolutely. He goes much higher through those corners. He's going to need a Sherpa to get all the way up there. Little oxygen, little help there, but he's making it work. He's starting to pull away from Jacob Borst. Borst trying to hold back Lane Riggs. There is Peyton Sellers riding around and forth behind him. Again, I don't think Peyton Sellers has shown what he's got just yet.
Right.
Peyton said as much in his interview. He's going to try to save what he can. You know we have at least one more caution coming up here. You know You know that's going to be something he's going to be trying to save up for. It doesn't eat tires here like it does some other tracks, you know. Your old Myrtle Beach back in the day, I lost a half a temp just walking across the track.
Absolutely.
But out here, you still got to manage those tires over a 200-lap race.
Yep.
You know, Cup races, Truck Series races, they don't go 200 laps on a set of tires, regardless of how long the track is. Here, we're trying to manage that, and it takes all kinds. Everyone's got their own strategy. Right here, you see Mike Looney. He's trying to hold off Mason Diaz yet again, Doc.
Yeah, Mason Diaz kind of went up to the high side, left it open for Carson Quapple. So he kind of got left up in the high side. Now you see all three distinct grooves going through turns 1 and 2.
And Mason Diaz has done a good job staying off of people as he's been trying to get by them. He's using every inch of space they're giving him. Oh, there's a little bit of contact. A little bit of beating. Nothing too bad, though. It just looks like right now we're underneath it. Mason needs as much space as he can get. He's taking everything he can get.
A little bit of leaning on him.
Question is, how much offense is Mike Looney going to take to that? And how much space is Mike Looney going to give him? Doesn't look like a whole lot.
Yeah, he said at Franklin County Speedway car tour race, when he and Connor Jones mixed together, he said in the post-crash interview, he ain't going to be pushed around no more.
And the last thing I'd want to do is make Mike Looney mad. I know that much. Yeah, Mike's a good dude. He's a happy dude. He's always glad to be at the track. But, man, you get on the wrong side of Mike Looney, and you got a long night ahead of you.
Yep.
You see Mike Looney right there trying to hold off a fierce run from Carson Quapple. Quapple's just been chilling in the top 10. Hasn't really made it up to the top 5. Started up front, kind of fell back a little bit. He's just been there, just riding around the top 10. Yep. Another deal where he just might not be showing what he's got just yet. Because, like you said, halfway doesn't pay much. And, you know, right now, top 10, good enough for now. You start making your way when you feel like you need to go.
Oh, wow. That 8 car is really good in the center of the turn. I don't think he's pushing hard either. That car is really good.
You see, though, there's a
little bit of glow. A little bit of glow there. But that is so much like the Josh Berry who drove that car, the 8 car, for a pretty good while in 88 for Junior Motorsports short track program. And I really think you couldn't have found a better replacement than Carson Quapple because he's a hard charger, he's good on equipment, and he is coachable.
Yep.
And that means a lot. And you talk to the team and how happy they are with the progress that he's made. I mean, he's winning races and he's leading the cars towards points championship, and that says a lot right there.
Right here, you see that's the 14 car of Jared Fryer trying to hold off Connor Hall, and the 44 of Connor Jones. I'm welcome Connor Jones back to the party. He's just been riding around mid-pack, and now he's making his way to the front. However, Connor Hall is not interested in letting him by.
Yeah, he looks really loose. When the lower he goes, he looks really loose. Really pinches the car off.
Too.
Yeah, really pinches the car off. Oh, wow, look at the glow on the right side.
You see that there? It's a lot of rotor glow on that car.
Yeah.
Really on the brakes hard to get that thing to turn around, but it's working. He's able to stay ahead of Connor Jones. And Jones is doing what he can right now, but Hall's making it real hard on him.
Yeah, for Jones running back where he is, that car is absolutely squeaky clean.
Absolutely.
So, you know, Connor Jones has come a long way. Got to see him race Pro Late Models down in Florida when I was down there with Steve DeWalt and those guys. And I went down there not to do race 22 stuff. They hired me to come down there and be the chef for them. I was the team chef. So I really enjoyed it. That was a lot of fun.
You can get it if you can get it. Good hard racing right here. That's Connor Hall, Connor Jones. And behind him, just still riding along, Kyle Dudley just hanging out there.
He's lurking.
Yep.
Kyle Dudley might be the one guy that might upset the regulars here.
So this is Jacob Boris, who's still trying to hold off Lane Riggs. You see that smoke you were talking about earlier on Lane Riggs' car. A little more pronounced now. It just could be that the light's a little better now. We're seeing it a little better, but it's definitely happening. And you don't know, it doesn't look like it's affecting the car right now. The car seems to be fine. But he is having a heck of a time getting around Jacob Boris. Boris said in his halfway interview, he's not pushing it. He's cool just letting Corey Heim do his thing. Corey Heim's doing his thing about a tenth and a half ahead of Jacob Boris right now. We're going to catch some traffic here in a minute. Corey Heim's going to get slowed up as people are trying to stay on the lead lap. But Boris is just kind of out there doing his thing, and Lane Riggs I don't know how hard any of these guys are pushing right now. I really don't.
He's got to be conservative because this is the biggest lead we've seen by Corey Heim.
It's back down to about a 1 second right now.
Right at a second.
Heim's caught some traffic right there. You see him right there on the track, and he's caught a bunch of traffic. He just had to get by the 91, and now he has caught the number 12 machine of Austin Thaxton, and he's just going to kind of keep trying to work through it. Again, we talked about it earlier. Your lead lap car is going to have your leader is going to have a harder time lapping cars than the guys in second and third. Once they get down a lap, that's that. So they're going to fight the leader. They're not going to fight the other guys quite as hard. So as that happens, it looks like right now we're right through about top 25 still on the lead lap. John Boyne will be the next car to go a lap down in front of Corey Heim. Heim's just been putting it to him. And you see this battle back in the field. Connor, and Kyle. Connor Hall, Connor Jones, Kyle Dudley, nosy tail, and Connor Hall. He's driving that car real hard.
Oh, Carson Quapple.
Here comes Carson Quapple onto the track. He's wiggling that car down there. It looks like he might have a flat right rear. He does have a flat right rear. He's on the rim as he comes down to pit road. Here comes Carson Quapple. Tough break. Yeah. Tough break for Quapple. He had such a good race going. It's that right rear, and they're going to have to change that car. They're pointing down at it now. I don't know if Quapple was able to see it. I don't know that the spotter was able to see it until it was a little bit too late, but Quapple on pit road, and that is going to be a tough play. We're throwing down to Jacqueline Drake, who is down there with the 18.
Yeah, the 18 is going to get a jack out and replace the right rear tire on that car. Unfortunate for Carson Quapple, he's having a good run so far. His father is actually removing the lug nuts from the right rear so he can put on the new tire and hopefully send them right back out.
Doc, that's just a tough break for Quapple right there.
Yeah, absolutely. They're just cruising and lurking. That car looks so good in the center. Unfortunately, out of contention for this one.
That's just a tough break. That's a good race team, a good driver, and it really did look like he was just kind of lingering around, waiting to see what was going to happen in front of him, and man, just tough break.
Take a look at Jonathan Schaefer getting up there close to the top 10. That's my little buddy. I'm his Uncle Buck.
Oh, fantastic.
And he's a fantastic little wheel. And out of Ashland, Ohio, so he's up here in the mix now. So it looks like he's been conserving. He looks to be really good right now. A little bit of nose damage there, so don't seem to be impairing too bad. So he's just cruising, waiting to see what these guys are going to do and see if he can pounce on if they make a mistake.
Kyle Dudley's feeling racy too. Schaefer's hood bent up just a little bit. You see that little bit of front end damage there. Not a ton. It's starting to flop around a little bit though. And a little bit of contact there with Kyle Dudley.
Yeah, he's putting pressure on him.
I don't know if we're going to try to use Kyle Dudley to get that hood back down or not, but that thing's flopping up just a bit.
A little bit more now.
Yep. Yeah, that thing's bent up pretty well. Got to be careful. There's a chance he might get black flags for this if it starts getting too bad. Right now he's okay though.
Yeah.
As long as that thing stays down.
As long as we don't flap it like Lane Riggs at Orange County and the cars do right. Ooh, a lot of contact there with Connor Hall.
Connor Jones on the outside, Connor Hall on the outside.
Connor, and they spell it different.
Yeah, of course.
But as long as that hood don't start flapping like Superman's cape.
Yeah, Schaefer right now, he's got a quick car. He's making his way up through the field. Speaking of making his way through the field, Bobby McCarty up to 18th. Stacey Purdy up to 21st. You know, looking through the field here, seeing where else everybody has kind of had trouble earlier working up. That's really your best drivers in the back who've been working their way up just a little bit. Mason Bailey up to 22nd from starting shotgun on the field. Good night for him, all things considered. Brandon Pierce, he had that trouble earlier. Brandon Pierce back in 27th right now. Not the night that he wanted, but there you go. Jonathan Schaefer, top 10, top 9 now, as he's on the inside of Connor Jones.
Nicely done. He's got Marcus Richmond calling the shots on that race car. You couldn't ask for any more crew chief with any more experience than Marcus Richmond there. Fantastic RNS racing chassis for Jonathan Schaefer, doing a fantastic job.
Just great job by that team all around. They did not have the qualifying run they wanted. Just kind of lingered around. And that, you know, in these big races, we talked about Eddie Johnson back in that 300-lap race back in the day, starting last, working his way through the field. These big races like that, sometimes you just got to linger around. You keep the bumpers on the car, and before you know it, you're in the top 5 and you got a shot, and that's all you can do in these big races. We're going to go back to the front of the field, and Corey Heim has Jacob Boris all over his mirror. Again, working through lap traffic, and that's just going to happen. Here comes Boris, and the question is, Boris decided he wants to show a little bit of what he's got, but he's left Lane Riggs and Peyton Sellers in the dust back there. Back up to Corey Heim, and now we're going to see if he can pull him up, if he's going to try to do anything with him. We got 5 laps to go, Doc, back on the stage.
Wow, man, we're just clicking off laps. And there, you know, you got those negative ninnies. Oh, you can't start that me because it'll be mayhem. But look at these. These guys are professionals. Some of these guys are so young, but the talent pool is incredible. Late model stock car racing here in the Southeast is in the best shape it's been in years.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we're sitting right about, going to take 2 laps to go next time by for the stage 3 finish. And it's still Corey Heim up front. Jacob Boris rides around in second. Lane Riggs is in third. Peyton Sellers fourth. Mike Mooney rounds out your top 5. We're going to do a full field reset for you all at the break there. When we have right with that last 50 laps to go here, we'll give a full field reset. We got a great field of cars still on the lead lap. It's really been, it's been a nice, clean race thus far. And Doc, I very well may have just jinxed that. We'll see how it goes for the last 50, but Corey Heim still picking them up, putting them down. Jacob Boris second, Lane Riggs third. Peyton Sellers fourth. Mike Mooney runs out your top 5 thus far.
Yeah, now he's starting to see Jacob Boris really starting to show different lines to Corey. Possibly just run his own race. There we go. The caution out for stage 3. Corey Heim sweeps the stages. Can he progress forward and collect all the stage money and the $10,000?
That is.
I know who's buying dinner if he does.
Want to talk about Southside Disposal? They sponsor all the cleaning stuff around the track. They sponsor our restart zone, and they're sponsoring the $250 going to Corey Heim for winning stage 3 of tonight's race. Corey Heim's $1,000 richer, and the race isn't even over yet. He talked about how it doesn't pay nothing to be leading at that point. It's paid $1,000 thus far, and now here we go. Does he have it left in his car to try to win this race? He's got 50 laps to do it.
Yeah, that car, look at that. That is a beautiful car. Parker Eastman there in the 4th car. Sounds like he possibly may beat down a cylinder, but no smoke from the pipe, so maybe he can continue and see how that goes. Hopefully it doesn't expire before the end of the 200 laps for Parker Eastman.
Gotta hope that's the case for him anyway. I mean, he's held on this long, and it's one of those things. You've held on that long. You've kept the car in one piece. You're right at 19th right now. And here he comes onto pit road now. They're going to probably lift that hood up, take a look. Here comes Stacy Purrier as well. Stacy, you know, Stacy was around toward the back end of that lead lap. Really nothing, no harm, no foul coming onto pit road right here, checking to see what's wrong with that car. Make one last big adjustment. Thomas Scott, you see back on pit road as well. His name has just not been what he wanted either.
There might be teams with bigger budgets and more people, but there's not anybody on the grounds that will outwork Stacy Purrier.
Absolutely not.
Class guy, love his heart, and good Christian man, and I look up to him for that.
So Parker even on pit road, Stacy Purrier on pit road. Hustling down pit road is Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline Drake's going to have a few words for us here in just a moment as she gets down in position. We'll find out what's going on with that 4 car. They're jacking up the right side there, and
what I want to know is I walked outside just for half a step and I'm sweating. She's running up and down pit road getting all these stories.
She has gotten her steps in today.
She has not broken a sweat. She is
Absolutely
a true professional.
Both her and Stacy Purrier, they got the back end of that car jacked up as well. We'll find out what's going on there in just a few moments. It's a lot going on down there. And the problem is right now, pace car's coming around, and it looks like we might be going down a lot for these fellas, and just a tough break right down there. Jacqueline Drake, what do you see down there?
Yeah, Mike Darn Racing Team is all hands on deck as they look underneath the car to evaluate it. No clear indication exactly what's going on with that 4 at this time. Seems like there's question marks above each of their heads right now as they try to figure it out. They got the flashlight underneath the hood, and they're talking to Parker right now to understand just exactly what he's hearing from his point of view.
That kind of tells me that it could be electrical, not exactly a cylinder down. So that's why they're chasing wires and making sure that that's not the case, that they're down a cylinder. So that's, wow.
Tough break for the driver from Wilson, North Carolina. Really had a good race going on. That car's in good shape. It looks good, which is all you can ask for in a race like this. Stacy Courier's back off the pit road here and getting back going again. We'll see where he ends up filing back in. But just a tough break for you there. Really hate to see that for him.
I think Jacqueline got more information from the team there. Jacqueline, what'd you come up with?
I was able to get a quick word with Mike Darn, who said, we knocked a hole in the exhaust pipe, so they're actually going to send the 4 back out onto the track, but that is the situation that Parker Eatman is dealing with right now.
Fantastic stuff from Jacqueline Drake. Thank you so much. Doing a fine job. And see, she run all the way down there. I mean, that was a good 25 yards or more, and she ain't even sweating.
We got 50 laps to go here at South Boston Speedway here on Flow Racing. I am Ken Childs, joined by Doc Love in the passenger seat. Jacqueline Drake down on pit road and getting us great stuff all night long. And that 8 car you see on the track, that is Carson Popple, and his night is done. And we're going to take 1 minute here on Flow Racing. We'll be right back with the last 50 laps of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Laps to go here at South Boston Speedway. A lot of great racing still to go this season. And we're going to want to go ahead July 16th, 2 weeks from tonight. That is Billy's AC Service Night at the Races. Late Model 100, Limited Sportsman, Twin 30s. Folks, if you have enjoyed the racing tonight, we have a lot more of it for you. Starting with that July 16th race. August 6th we'll race. That's Devonport Energy Night. Italian Delight Family Restaurant. Our 65th anniversary of racing here at South Boston Speedway. That is August 20th. September 3rd. Championship night here at the track. Always a big night of racing. Make sure you join us all here. This whole schedule is on southbostonspeedway.com. Social at Sobo Speedway 57 on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.com/SouthBostonSpeedway. Please join us for the rest of the season. I promise you, the great racing you see tonight, you're going to see more of it all season long. This season and every season, we've been doing it for 65 years. We're going to do it for another 65 right after that.
Absolutely.
So the rest of our racing schedule here at South Boston Speedway. If you're watching live on Flow, you can watch us live on Flow for the rest of the season. July 16th, the Billy AC Service Night at the Races, 100 laps for the late model stocks.
Take a look at the current situation here, weather-wise. 74 degrees, partly cloudy, 1 mile an hour from the south. That's not cooling it down too much,
No,
Ken.
not at all.
Humidity, I see it's the hot King Talk. 84%. Oh,
that's been 10% up since we
started. Yeah.
And as we were talking about a minute ago, here's our schedule for the next few races. July 16th, that is Billy's AC Service Night at the Races. August 6th, Davenport Energy Night at the Races. August 20th, our 65th anniversary. Twin 65s for the late model stocks, plus another 65 for the limited sportsman. We'll finish the season off on September 3rd, right here at South Boston Speedway. Finishing up tonight's race, we got 50 laps to go in the first jewel of the Triple Crown for the Virginia Triple Crown. 3 weeks from tonight, we'll be down at Langley Speedway for the Hampton Heat. September 24th. Tickets on sale now, MartinsvilleSpeedway.com. The Valley Star Credit Union 300 Dock, that is the biggest of the big races out there. $30 for a ticket. It's all-day racing, dude. You cannot get beat for that price.
All-day racing and absolutely beautiful facility. They treat the late model guys just like a cup race.
Absolutely.
And they race for the coveted
grandfather clock,
and it's a good time. It's a big time, and it's cool to be a part of that.
Absolutely. There's a big pile of hot dogs there, too.
Yes.
Going back green here, we'll see if Corey Himes still got that working out on the restart. So far, 3 big restarts. 3 times he's been shot out of a cannon. They come off of turn 4. They come through the south side disposal restart zone. This time, Jacob Forth. as you've seen, battle for the lead still going on, and it is still Corey Heim and Jacob Borst. Corey Heim this time, though, did not get that jump, Doc, but he's able to get ahead of Jacob Borst, and now we're again, Corey Heim climbing up the track, Jacob Borst trying to make the bottom work.
Yep, as you saw there when we did our version of Crunk It Up here at South Boston Speedway. Lots of action there with the 26, Peyton Sellers. Mike Looney's right there behind him. Jared Fryer on the bottom side of 87 machine of Mike Looney. And right there is Mason Diaz right there in the mix.
You see the field stretching out a little bit, but man, Mike Looney has been in it all night. Every time we look at Mike Looney, there's a car on top of him, a car underneath him, a car next to him, a car behind him, a car in front of him. And it's not like there's a lot of room for a lot of these cars to go. It's still a big field of cars still on the track. But man, Looney has just had people around him all night, and that car, despite that, looks to be in really good shape. A little bit of dent on the front. Oh, trouble right there for this Austin Faxon. Looks like he's either pulling up or got a right front.
I think he had some contact with the right front, what it looks like.
Looks like it, yeah, he's on the brake. Every time he gets on the brake, there's a smoking car right there. Yeah. We'll see as he comes on the pit road. See what's going on. Oh, yeah, there's a lot of damage to that right front as Austin Faxon comes on the pit road. Austin Faxon, not the night he wanted, not qualify well, did not really run up front like he'd hoped. And he's a guy that knows his track very, very well. He's coming on the pit road, and his night might be done. That might be it for him.
Yeah, he just nosed in. The crowd, crew not in any hurry, so possibly ending the night.
Absolutely. Back out front, Corey Heim, Jacob Borst. The two that have led all night long. It's been 1-2 those guys, and Borst has said he hasn't been going full speed. But man, Corey Heim doesn't seem like he's been going full speed either. He's starting to stretch that thing back out. Speaking of, Carter Langley up to fourth. Peyton Sellers all over him, and once again, there's Mike Looney.
Yep. Looking at the left rear corner of Carter Langley, looks like it's been rolled in a little bit of contact from somebody. Not sure who. I don't think it's, I'm not sure. Can't confirm if it was the 26 of Peyton Sellers, but man, they seem to be really close like that coming off the corners.
They really do. Carter Langley has run, we've all run the same number of laps. Him being on the high side, he has run a longer race than everybody else in this race. Because you see Corey Heim's been going up there, you see some of these other guys been climbing up there. Lap 1, Carter Langley was up there, and we were lap 163. He's run 163 laps up on that high side, beating and banging him. Peyton Sellers contact as he come off of turn 4. Sellers gets a spot. I bet Carter Langley's not going to like that too much if he can get back to that bumper, but that looks to be a pretty big ask right now.
Yeah, that shows you that it's time to go. It's about to get for reals. Here comes Peyton Sellers. Looks like he is pushing the envelope right now.
Yeah, Peyton Sellers trying to catch Lane Riggs. That is 1-2 in your national championship standings, and got a ways to go before he gets to Lane Riggs, but
yeah, 1-2 here at the track.
Absolutely. Carter Langley trying to find a way around. Now he goes down all the way down to the apron. Man, he's not happy with the middle of the track, apparently, Doc. He's just all over trying to find a way to get that car faster.
Kind of like on dirt, you know, the guys will start searching for the grip, where the grip's at, and looks like it's exactly what he's trying to do.
Lane Riggs, your national point leader. Peyton Sellers, second in the national points. Also 1-2 in the track points. And Riggs has had a relatively uneventful night. Peyton Sellers has had a little more beating and banging, a little bit more action, but again, just riding around. They have been the two best cars not named Heim and Borst all night.
Right. And you see Lane staying up on that top
Absolutely.
Line, just like Carter Langley was. Oh, wow, look at that. Oh, man, if we could get a shot of that going into 3, here they come through 4. Look at that.
3 wide coming through the South Boston Speedway. We're going to keep trying to go 3 wide. We're 3 wide down the front stretch, trying to make it 4 wide if you can, because, hey, why not? You bought the whole track. You might as well use it. Mark Wirtz is going to look to the inside of Connor Hall. There's Landon Pembleton. There's Sam Yarbrough in the 16. We are jamming them out in there. That 77 of Connor Hall is right there. Mark Wirtz looking to the inside. Caution flag on the track. It is Kyle Dudley off of turn number 4.
Oh, man.
Caution flag flies, and you hate that for Kyle Dudley. The Roanoke, Virginia driver just has been so strong all night. And with 30 to go, the caution flag flies, and Kyle Dudley's been lingering around the top 5.
You know, all the lettering's been
Yep.
wore off that right front.
Yeah, it's been a good night for Kyle Dudley. Regardless of how tonight ends for him, Doc, he earns a good ride home, feeling good about how things went tonight.
Yeah. They knew, as they say, we didn't win the race, but they knew we were there.
Absolutely.
Great way to describe his night, and I'm proud of it. He's a fairly small team, and he's a humble guy, and had him on the program quite a few times, and he's such a good guy. He's such a fun character around late model stock car racing. Sometimes he does some wild stuff there on the infield. As we'll see a replay here.
Looks like he just lost by himself almost.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Minnie Tyrell had any contact.
If
but
Minnie
not sure
got him,
if
it wasn't
already
a whole lot.
loose.
Yeah. Minnie was there, but it almost looked, okay, let's see if we got something on this replay here. Oh, yeah, a little bit of contact right there. Now, it looks like Kyle may have tried to check up just a little bit behind that action in front of him, and Minnie just had nowhere to go. Because Minnie had...
They were close,
Minnie had a pile of guys on his bumper as well. Someone was going around right there. It was either Kyle or whoever's behind Kyle.
Right.
And it ended up being Kyle Dudley, and you hate that for him. He's had such a good night of racing. That car has been... And even now, it doesn't even look like it's in bad shape, but... You hate that for Kyle Dudley.
A lot of loss of the track position.
Absolutely.
Hate to see that for him, for sure. Man, 28 to go. We're logging off laps.
Absolutely.
Man.
Clicking them along here. It is. It's been a good night of racing out here, Doc. Not a lot of things. Once we hit lap 190, the last 10 laps, caution flag laps will not count. So if we have any kind of thing that happens with 10 to go, caution flag comes out, those laps are not going to count. So you're going to get a green flag checker out of this whole thing.
Found some debris.
Yep. Which I'm surprised we haven't found that much debris given the amount of racing that's happened out here with the number of cars out there. Had a few things break here and there and stuff like that, but man, it's been an otherwise pretty clean race. Now we see that, and we've got 25 laps to go as we come by the line next time by. And I don't know that I was going to say it like that.
Yeah, let's see if we can sneak in at least the top 20 here, how they're running.
Absolutely. Corey Heim is your leader. Jacob Borsett second, Lane Briggs third, Peyton Sellers fourth, Mike Looney is fifth, Carter Langley is sixth, Jared Fryer seventh, Jonathan Schaefer is eighth, Mason Diaz ninth, Connor Jones sits 10th.
And 11th, Landon Pimbleton. Mark Wirtz running 12th. We saw those guys running 3 wide there. Connor Hall 13th, Sam Yarborough 14th, Camden Gully 15th, Minnie Tyrell 16th, Parker Eaton 17th, Bobby McCarty 18th, Stacy Puryear 19th, and Trevor Ward running 20th.
Aaron Donnelly's 21st, John Goyne 22nd, Kyle Dudley will 23rd. He is the first car one lap down. No, it'll be second. He scored 2 laps down. So your top 22 still on the lead lap, Doc. And folks, look at this crowd. Not a soul has left. This place is packed. It has been packed since about 12:30. People started coming in.
Right.
And it has just gotten fuller and fuller as tonight has gone on. We've sold a lot of bologna burgers.
Yep.
We have sold a lot of the Kona Ice folks over at turn number 4.
Oh, they had to have a stellar day.
Absolutely. If you invested in Kona Ice ahead of time, good for you.
See people taking their own videos.
Oh, absolutely. It's been
sharing the experience. That's awesome.
It's been such a good night of racing all day. It's just been a great day of racing at a great racetrack with great race fans. If you have not been here before and you're watching live at home, get out here. Find a flight. You fly into Raleigh, you fly into Greensboro, you fly into Richmond. Roanoke's got a nice little airport.
Fly to Winston. You could ride up with me.
Oh, absolutely. There you go. And come out. Get out here and come to a race. I promise you will have a great time.
Yeah.
I will buy you your first bologna burger.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
You got a ride and your first bologna burger.
Boom.
It's already paid for.
Free food. Who doesn't want free food? Well worth a flight. All right, we're going green here with 23 laps to go. Race fans, get on your feet. We're going racing here. 23 laps to go to $10,000. The Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200, presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. 23 laps to go. Brandon Willard throws a green flag, and we're back underway. And here comes Corey Heim again on the outside. Does Jacob Borst have anything for him?
Here we go. It's going to get pole reel now. Wow. Must have been a little contact with Jacob Borst and possibly Peyton Sellers, because Borst was way sideways, but he got it back, headed in the right direction. and luckily didn't lose a lot of track position.
Man, looking all the way through the field. Whatever. Trouble coming into turn number 3. And it looks like it's going to be a big trouble. That is your national point leader, your track point leader. Lane Riggs comes to a stop at turn number 4. He'll get his car down on the pit road. They're going to have to change his tire. And man, it was hard, not terribly hard contact, but enough. And Lane Riggs is on pit road. A lot of damage to that car, and they're going to get that tire change in a hurry, I'm sure. But big trouble for that team with 20 laps to go. Caution flag laps will count for the next 10 laps. Jacqueline Drake right down there with the 99 team.
We got a sight to be seen right here at the 99 pit. We got Ronald Hill lifting up the 99 they can't get the jack currently underneath the car to change the left front tire of the flat after the contact on the track. So you see Lane Riggs shaking his head right now. They finally got it onto the jack. They're gonna put the new tire on, take the old one off the flat. You can see he has a little bit of damage left front fender, but nothing too bad that he can't get back out there and be able to finish out this race. But you can clearly see through the front windshield the anger coming off of Lane Riggs' face.
Tough break for Lane Riggs and that team. And talking to Lane Riggs, though, his national title hopes may not be damaged too much by this, Doc. He's got a lot of wins. They're already throwing away races here and there. He's got a DNF he's still got to get rid of. Couple other things like that, but he's in a good place coming into tonight. Did not necessarily need a win tonight. Did not need a great finish, but obviously you want one. Virginia Triple Crown, everything else going on. And you see in the replay right here, contact between him, Jacob Boris, and Peyton Sellers. Not sure if Peyton got into the back of him there, but it looked like kind of a combination of things brought that up, and you see the damage to that left front as he comes down onto pit road. Luckily it happened where he could get right onto pit road. And now maybe we'll see. Yep. And it looks like here's Boris on the inside.
No contact.
He come up, little contact there. Yeah, it was Boris and Riggs just fighting for position. And we talked about that earlier. You come up the track, it's like Dover almost. You come out of that corner and there's only so much space. And they're down there, Boris is on the bottom, and it looks like Boris comes up just a little bit. And there they are, and there's contact there. And at that point, you're both kind of just along for a ride.
Right there. After that contact, the way this track is angled, once you start that, you can't get off each other.
Absolutely. And that's and so Boris, if you look at his right rear in that last shot, and you'll see him as he comes by again, Boris has got some right rear damage. Now, whether or not that's going to be rubbing on the tire at all, whether or not anything has happened to that right rear tire, we'll see. As he comes around and comes off of turn number 4, you should be able to see it. Kyle Dudley, by the way, is your free pass car. I haven't talked a lot about free pass cars. Yeah, there's that damage.
Wow.
That's a lot of damage, but looking at it, it doesn't look like he's got a rub per se.
Yeah, I don't think he...
We'll see once you get that car loaded and you go in full speed, that's when you can kind of tell. But given everything that happened there, he's not in terrible shape at the moment.
Yeah, it's pretty
clear.
Going back and forth and putting a little load on that right rear. I don't see any smoke. He's going to be fine.
The question is there a little bit of a toe knock-in or something like that? We'll see in a second. I guarantee within a lap or two, we'll know what he's got. Because we'll be coming up on 16 laps to go next time by. Race fans, it is getting hot. It's been hot all day.
It's hot up in her.
It has been hot all day. It's about to get very, very hot on that racetrack. And folks, we are ready for a heck of a finish for the first leg of the Virginia Triple Crown, the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Late Model 200, presented by the great folks at Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. If you need a place to stay at the beach, Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort has all sorts of condo options for you. If you're going with a golf group, you're going with your family, you're going on a honeymoon kind of deal, Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort, they've got you covered. Want to thank them for coming on board. Of course, want to thank Thunder Road Harley-Davidson for coming on board. Doc, we're going to come to agreement with 15 laps to go. Caution flag laps will not count with 10 or less to go.
Inside 10 to go, caution laps won't count. It is going to be full reel now. Look at Jonathan Schaefer up there in the top 6. Holy cow, young man's come up, done well. Mike Clooney right there in striking distance. Carter Langley still right there, and 26 of Peyton Sellers can really benefit with a good finish here tonight.
Yep. Pace cars off of turn 4, green flags back in the air, and here we go once again. Again, it is Corey Heim on the high side. Let's see what Jacob Boris still has in that car. No smoke coming off that car, but here comes Peyton Sellers on the outside. We're side by side for second as we go into turn number 3.
Yeah, Peyton Sellers really trying to get that momentum coming off of turn number 4. Watch him come up on the hill, get right on the bumper of the 78 of Corey Heim. Yeah, his car is really good.
The question was, what was Peyton Sellers leaving? What was he saving? Man, whatever he had, he's going for it right now. Peyton Sellers, 2 second place, and he's all over the bumper of Corey Heim as they go back into turn number 1.
The reigning national champion, NASCAR's Advanced Auto Parts Weekly Racing Series, on the prowl for a big victory here at his home track, South Boston Speedway.
Corey Heim starts to pull away just a little bit. Peyton Sellers is right there. He looks to the inside. Trouble on the front stretch, and it is a huge wreck. Oh my goodness, everyone involved, it seems like. We have a little bit of flame on the track. Big wreck. We'll see if we can get the names of everybody involved, but
Jonathan Schaefer was involved, so it had to be right.
Absolutely huge
just
wreck.
Inside the top 10.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 cars left on the track that were not involved in this.
Clean up aisle 2, please. Somebody's trying to get out real mad. It looks like the 2 car. He's really trying to get out of that race car. I don't know if he's hurt. He's trying to get away from there. There he goes.
We're gonna go ahead. He had a little fire in his car there. You see there's a flame on that 81 machine right now.
Yeah, I see it now.
Huge pileup of cars. It is a full-on mess. Here's what we're gonna do, folks. We're gonna give you a list of the drivers that were not involved in that wreck. Corey Heim, Peyton Sellers, Jacob Borst, Carter Langley, Mike Looney, Mark Wirtz. Everybody else that was still on the track, save for Camden Gilly and Kyle Dudley, makes it out through that, comes to a stop.
He's going to get a top 10 finish.
And it looks like he's going to have a top 10 finish because, folks, it is a full-on, so this is going to be a big cleanup, folks. We got a lot of cars on the track, and there are cars on top of cars. It is a full-on Blues Brother police car kind of wreck.
Great reference. Oh, man, I hate it, though, for these guys.
You see Landon Pemberton is up on top of Mason Diaz.
Yeah.
I mean, it is absolutely a mess. You hate that for everybody out there.
Folks, if you're over here on the fence, please back away from the fence. Since we had a fire on the race cars, we don't want to have any issues there. Please back away from the fence over there in turn 1.
Yes, please back away from the fence there. Going to go to the Flow Racing replay, and here we go, coming off of turn number 2. Contact between, it looked like Fryer and, it was a 91 got around, contact with Mike Looney, and then just everything piled up behind him. And you look at Kyle Dudley. There's stopped. Kyle Dudley comes to a stop, cars in one piece, and off we go. And Kyle Dudley has gone from having a bad night to having a pretty good night. Here it is again. That is the number 91 machine of Jonathan Schaefer there. Schaefer with some contract, Looney with Looney, and then
Looney backed off.
And the whole field checks up.
Yeah, to try to help Jonathan gather it back in.
And there's
then by
nowhere
that time,
to go.
Everybody
there is absolutely nowhere to go.
Oh wow, hard hit there behind.
Real hard hit.
Tyrell.
And folks, it is you watch the Tour de France, and sometimes with a sprint at the end, there's a big wreck and everyone piles in. That's what happened right here. You see the race. And you're right, Looney tries to check up to give him some space, and that just piles up everybody behind him. And you see Wirtz comes through in one piece, but nobody else except for Kyle Dudley makes their way through. And Camden Gilly right there in the 0-1. You see him, he's got some damage on his car. He's on pit road. He's got a lot of damage to his car there. I see him on pit road there, and it is
that was just a racing incident there coming off of turn number 4.
And we talked about it earlier, how the track, there's only so much room.
Right.
And there's nowhere to go, and you're carrying almost 110 mile an hour coming into the corner there. And there's nothing you can do. So we're going to go ahead, and we're looking at this replay. We have quite the cleanup ahead. So we're going to take 2 minutes here on Flow Racing. We'll be right back with the final of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. And welcome back to South Boston Speedway here on Flow Racing. And we're going to throw it down to Jacqueline Drake, who is with Jonathan Schaefer, who is on the front end of the big wreck going into turn number 1.
Unbelievable sight right before us here. You can see the carnage on the track and the look on your face. Jonathan, talk us through what just happened.
We had a really great car the whole night. Started 27th all the way up to 4th there and just running the outside, and Looney got in my left rear. Tried to save it, but just got drove over, and it was gone after that.
Yeah, as you can see, there's several drivers that are exiting out of their vehicles and lots of track work to happen here. We'll see if we can catch up with Mike Looney and get his take on what we just saw.
Man, just absolute carnage down there. And it's going to be a little bit to get this all cleared up because it's just literally cars on top of cars. We have a great shot here of Landon Pembleton up on top of Mason Diaz, wedged in between him and what I believe is a 4-car. It's hard to.
Yeah, there's the 4-car, and there's another car under the 4-car. Yeah. Stacy Perrier was wedged in there, and he just now got out of his race car.
Absolutely. So it's just, it is going to be a little bit, we only have so many records to get all these cars pulled out, and then we have to get all the fluid off the track. So there's a lot going on down there. Camden Gilly, by the way, his team is looking at his car. We're under a red flag. By rights, they can't necessarily work on the car. They can't put the fan in front of it, try to cool it off a little bit, but that car's got a ton of damage, but he was able to drive it in. And realistically, right now, if he can run about 3 laps, he's got himself a top 10 because this is an absolute massive humanity on pit road right now.
Yeah, and the good thing is all the drivers got out and seemed to be okay.
Absolutely. That's the most important part about this. Everyone appears to be okay. We talked earlier about how good the safety is in these race cars, and they're just, yeah. And we'll see what else is going on. Jacqueline Drake is down there with all these drivers. We'll see what Jacqueline's got to say down on pit road.
Yeah, I've caught up with Parker Eatman. And from your point of view, you seem like you're on the front end of that wreck. What did you see?
Well, I came out of turn 3, and I just saw him stacking up. And at that point, I was going so fast I had nowhere to go. So I locked him down, took my hands off the steering wheel, and ended up in all the carnage. But we had a good car. Started firing off there with about 50 laps to go, and I thought we were going to have a decent run, but got caught up in someone else's mess.
Parker Eatman done for the day. I was also able to overhear Mason Diaz saying, hey, it looks like our wheels are straight. We think we might go back out. So it looks like some of these drivers are trying to see if they can go back out. With such few cars left in the field, they could still get a good finish.
We were just talking about that up in the booth here. You look at Camden Gilly down there, and that car looks horrible. And normally you go, all right, man, we're done. But there are literally 7 cars on the track right now that do not have damage from this wreck. A couple of them have damage from other stuff, but these cars are otherwise, if you can get out there and roll around 3 or 4 laps, you got yourself a top 10, because there's a lot of these guys that just will not be able to finish. And you look in that pile, and there's Lane Riggs. It just, one thing led into another thing. He had his trouble earlier, and then he just got caught up in that, and then just, man, the cars that are involved, there's some very, very good race cars in there, Doc.
Yeah, absolutely. And, gosh, I didn't realize Lane Riggs was involved in that as well. Looks like it's up to his windshield. He's windshield deep right there.
Man, some of those guys are windshield deep on top of people who are windshield deep.
Right.
It is a pile of cars out there.
And that was a lot of force once the other cars started piling in.
Oh, yeah.
Did you notice how the whole pile moved? So that was a lot
so
of force.
So you look here on Flow Racing, here are the cars that are left. It is Corey Heim, Peyton Sellers, Jacob Boris. You see up there, there's...
And they're getting out of the car.
They're getting out of the car and hanging. They got a hot minute here. So you see, there's Peyton Sellers, Jacob Borst. It looks like Mike Looney. We got the 5 of... there's Mark Wirtz. We had talked about Wirtz. Wirtz looks like he's got a little bit of damage, but otherwise might be okay.
I always said when Wirtz runs good, that's one for the old guys.
Yeah, Wirtz has got some right rear damage, and you saw that. He kind of came through... He came through that wreck and was able to get through it, but somebody came down and kind of clipped him just a little bit. So he's got a little bit of that right rear damage. Carter Langley in that 5 car is the other car that is not involved in this wreck right now.
You see Mark Wirtz there sitting down on the track.
Oh, yeah, huh?
Might be a little overheated there. So
absolutely could be. You see his crews
hate
coming
to see that.
Yep. Hopefully he's okay. The issue here, of course, is that, the cars are not moving. Guys that are sitting in the car, it's hot in there.
Yeah.
And they've got no cooling right now, and it's just, they got to get out. So that's why you see him walking around. So you see Wirtz sitting down there by the car. Hopefully he's good enough to finish this race out. He's only got a few laps left to go. Realistically, if he can just ride around a lap or 2, get a decent finish out of this. But hopefully he's okay. I imagine he is. So Wirtz is a battler. He's fought forever in these things.
Yeah. Wouldn't mind seeing some medical personnel
absolutely
at least to check him out. Make sure he's okay.
We're going to take another 2 minutes here at South Boston Speedway in the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. We'll be right back on Flow Racing. Still looking at a good deal of cleanup here as we try to get the track cleaned up. Great job by the track crew, by the way. Got to give them a hand. they're already working on getting this fluid picked up, even though there's still a lot of fluid to go. A lot of these cars piled on top, and it's going to be a hot minute or two before we get everybody kind of peeled off of everybody else and all that. But, you know, great job by the track crew getting out there right away, getting on top of this and making sure everybody's okay. And you see these cars coming on out, and, you know, it's a testament to how Chase Brashers and his whole crew have worked to make sure that they've got the great personnel on hand, Doc, to get everybody involved and make sure that everyone knows what they're doing and where they need to be when something like this happens.
Yeah, I've been working with Chase and Carly, and I'm telling you, those young folks are working. They are hard workers. They are old souls, is the way I describe them. They are hard workers, great work ethic, and they plan ahead for things like this. We hope they don't happen, but he had a plan, and these guys were Johnny on the spot out there trying to get ahead of the cleanup situation there. So hats off to Chase and Carly and the job they're doing here at South Boston Speedway. And that's a testament on how they train and work with the crews to be, to have the initiative to get out there and jump on it instead of wait and see what happens. So hats off to them.
So we're still working on getting this whole pile cleaned up. It's going to be a hot minute. We'll talk with some more drivers, find out kind of what happened on their perspective. We're going to toss it down to Jacqueline Drake, who's with Mike Looney.
Yeah, I'm caught up down here with Mike Looney. He's got himself a bottle of water. We've talked to a few drivers, but from your point of view, what did you see happen?
I better watch the video myself. It all happened so fast. I was trying to do a little damage control. We got a really good long run car, and we just really stink on the restarts. And I was just probably trying too hard to do a little defense right there. I got a good run on Schaefer. And we were both slipping and sliding coming off the turn there. And turn 4 here has been my Achilles heel. I've been on both ends of the crash right there. It's like pouring water down a funnel at 110 miles an hour right there. The cars come together. Like I say, I'd have to see what happened. I'm sure it's probably my fault. If it is, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry for all those guys that got collected and none of their own doing. I like Jonathan Schaefer and his dad a lot, so hate that happened. Doing my best. I didn't come out here trying to wreck nobody or nothing. Just trying to win this race. So sorry if it was my fault. Those guys are tore up down there, and we'll just try to get this thing over with.
Mike Looney, he is one of the few drivers here currently sitting 5th on the leaderboard in the final laps of this race.
If you're watching live on Flow Racing, we're going to go back to this replay here, and we're going to see exactly what happens. And Looney talked about it right there. Him and Schaefer got together, and he tried to give the space, which a veteran driver is going to do. You see this over and over. A guy will get into somebody, back up, try to give him that space to try to correct it. And he gave the 91, he gave Schaefer that chance to try to correct it. Unfortunately, there was like 30 guys behind him. Right. And there was nowhere to go. And you see right there, once that starts happening, once that chain reaction starts happening, the 14 comes around, and that's that. Once we're sideways with Jared Fryer, there is nowhere for these guys to go. You see that damage that Mark Wirtz gets on that right rear. His car appears to be otherwise okay, but once that track gets blocked like that, we see it again on the replay. If we can come back to the replay one more time. When they come off there, everything's fine until Fryer comes around.
Right.
And then
that's when everybody starts jumping on the binders.
Absolutely. Because you got the spotters yelling at them to come on the brakes. Back it up, back it up, back it up. And they do their best to, and that's just where you end up. We're going to go back down on trackside. We got Jacqueline Drake with Carter Langley, I believe, down over in turn number 4.
Yeah, and he's had a pretty good night so far. He's currently sitting in 4th. The rookie, only your 2nd year here in late models. You got Solid Rock on board for you for this Triple Crown chase. How has your night been so far? You seem pretty happy.
Yeah, I'm really happy right now. We got a really good short run car. If we can make it last this last couple laps, I think we'll have a good piece and try and go battle for the win.
Well, we're about to find out here. The number 5 of Carter Langley, he's pretty confident about what he has left for the remainder of this race.
Speaking of the remainder of this race, we got about 12 laps to go here at South Boston Speedway. Still a little bit of cleanup to go over in turn number 1. So with Flow Racing, we're going to go ahead and take another 2-minute break. We'll be right back with the conclusion of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Once again, folks, thanks for coming out. I promise you we got fireworks coming up here in just a few moments. If the fireworks on the track were not enough, we got some coming over in the backstretch here in just a little bit. Speaking of fireworks, we're going to have some more on the track here in just a few weeks. Billy's AC Service Night at the races. Late model stocks 100, twin 30s for the limited sportsman. Southside Disposal Pure Stocks and Hornets rounding out that race night. 2 weeks later, August 6th, 3 weeks later, August 6th, Davenport night at the Davenport Energy Night. 65 twins for the late model stocks, 50 laps for the limited sportsman. Pure Stocks, Hornets, and the Southern Ground Pounders, Doc. They always put on a great show.
Oh, absolutely. It's awesome to see those cars here at South Boston Speedway. Man, what a job these crews have to do. It's like playing Tetris, taking these cars apart.
Absolutely. It's hard to imagine how much
Look
time.
at the damage.
Oh yeah.
77.
I mean, because these cars, it was not like you said earlier. It wasn't just the cars getting bent up, but then it was like the impact of the guys just shoving in behind them,
right.
And it was a crush of cars coming in.
Yeah, I mean, Tyrell took 2 hard shots.
Absolutely.
Nosed in, nose to nose to Jonathan Schaefer, and then got hit so hard the whole front, back of the car come up off the ground when he got hit by the 2 car.
Yeah, it's a mass of humanity down there. We got 2, 4, 6, 8, about 10 cars left to go in this cleanup. This is, I've seen Martinsville Speedway, the final race of the Virginia Triple Crown. We've had a couple of these where you get late models piling them up like that off the corner. Seen that there a few times. This is the first time in South Boston I've seen this kind of wreck. Welcome back to South Boston Speedway and the conclusion of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's down on pit road.
Yeah, guys, I've caught up with the leader. I don't know if you guys know this, but so far you've bought tickets to the Corey Heim Show. You've been leading this entire race, winning the stages, taking home the cash. But right behind you, Peyton Sellers. He's had a little bit of a run in the last few laps here. How do you intend on holding him off?
Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a new race here with the tires cooling down and, the track temp cooling down, the whole 9 yards. But, overall, just got to do what I've been doing all night, running the top, just holding those guys off. It's going to be a melee here at the end, but we should be good.
Yeah, you talk about the tires cooling off, especially this red flag. How does that affect the conditions of your 78?
Yeah, I think we actually fired off really good after that halfway break, so hopefully it correlates pretty similar. We don't really get to adjust on it like we did at the halfway break, but our Toyota Camry's been really good all night, and I'm looking forward to getting this restart over.
That's Corey Heim. We'll see if he'll be able to sweep the night in just a few laps.
Once again, we've been working nonstop on getting this Jenga pile of cars all untangled up, and we still got about 10 cars to go here, and they've been working nonstop, but you see all the stuff on the track to try to get this track dried up, because if it had fluid in it, it is now all over the track, and going to make things a little interesting for cleanup. But as we talked about earlier, no caution flag laps count with 10 laps to go. So you're only really going to have about 2 laps of caution flag where that counts. And then we go right into just rolling around, getting this track as clean as we can, and then it's going to be a shootout to the finish. And while we're not going to have a ton of cars left in this thing, Doc, it is still going to be quite the race to the finish.
Oh, yeah, it's still going to be competitive. And I don't think it's a given. Corey Heim might have been dominant so far, but Peyton Sellers is coming. You see him down there talking to each other on that one shot a moment ago. I find that kind of interesting, coming up close to 10 to go and the leaders get to talk.
Absolutely.
That's kind of unique, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't usually have that. But you don't usually have this down here in this pile either. And, again, one of the things the folks, the official record service of South Boston Speedway is Franklin's Record Service, and they have done a knockout job getting these cars all pulled out. They have 2 or 3 trucks going right now, and they are going nonstop. I hope for their sake they're getting paid by the pole. Because if so, they're making a killing tonight. That's a lot of cars on the track they're getting out. The problem you're going to run into as far as track cleanup, you see right there the little bit of oil or whatever's coming out of the back of Bobby McCarty car on the 22. You've got a whole bunch of stuff coming out there, and there's Bobby McCarty and what's left of his car. Man, Bobby had a decent race going, given the fact where he was started and the trouble he had earlier. He was up to about 14th or 15th.
Yeah.
He had worked his way up through the field, and just this happened here. And that's, you hate it for him. He had really run well throughout the night and just got caught up in everyone else's stuff.
Yeah.
Attention in the grandstands. Trey Puckett, we need you to the office. Trey Puckett, we need you to the track office. Your son has been found. He is at the track office. Trey Puckett, please come to the track office. We have your son. Going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's on pit road, and I believe she's with, is that Lane Riggs?
Yep.
Lane Riggs, his crew member just walked by with the hood. I said, can I take it home? I mean, we have to make some light humor out of this. I know you're clearly upset with what just happened. Walk me through what you saw in those laps.
Well, it all went back to we were going for second and got loose up under me. Instead of keeping it loose and staying off of me, just turned it right, put me in the wall, cut a tire down, and my fault for trying to keep running. We were trying to get points here. Hopefully, we were going to let that happen and then try to get some more positions. But that late in the race, I had my brakes locked up coming out of turn 4, it felt like. So just a shame that we were running so well and had to get wrecked.
Looking at your 99, I know you're going for the points. What is the plan? You're racing every single week. What can you salvage? Do you have another car in the shop?
We got a couple more. Just this is our primary car, so it's just a shame. We wrecked it for nothing. It wasn't like we were trying to wreck for the lead. We wrecked, had a tire flat, and I made a bad call and tried to stay on the racetrack. I knew that was going to happen. I knew that these caliper drivers, it's hard to not wreck like this late in a race at a tight racetrack. So, we just do the best we can. We'll fix it. Just long hours, long days to get back.
Lane Riggs, he's currently on summer break from college, currently going for an engineering degree. Him and his father work hard in that family shop to get that 99 ready every single weekend.
You see Mason Diaz there pulling back onto the track. And I mean, that car, it's not it's going to need some help. But if that thing's rolling right now and he can just,
as long as the four wheels are pointed, sort of straight.
Yeah, straight-ish.
He can make up some positions, which will be a
you're
better
gonna
payday.
Probably need to put a little bit of that back together or take it off. One of the two. I don't really know that it matters which. I hope they have some duct tape. I hope they have a lot of duct tape, mostly duct tape at this point. But that car, it's rolling, which is more than can be said for 3/4 of the field right now.
Right.
And that's going to get Mason Diaz a top 10 at this point. There is the Brandon Pierce car that is not rolling so well. They're pushing it, but it's going. And just such a tough night for Brandon Pierce.
From the get-go, and I hate that for him.
Yep. First incident of the night, got caught up in it, and he's been fighting back. And to him and his crew's credit, they have been battling this whole time.
There's no quit, no doubt.
Yep. And you see all these bent-up cars. And Five-Star Race Car Body is the official race car body provider of South Boston Speedway, and good for them. A lot of race car bodies going to be needed after tonight. It has been and we talked about it earlier. It was a clean night up until this point. We had a few things here or there, but nothing like this. And that right now, if Diaz can get that car rolling again, get a tape deck up and stuff, you're looking at possibly a top 10 car with that number 24 machine from the sign shop.
Yep, absolutely. And looks like all the safety gear is still where it needs to be, so nothing compromised there. That was a hard lick that Connor.
Absolutely.
Connor Hall took right there where where his legs would go up under the steering column. So hopefully didn't get into him there. That was really bent in there. That was kind of concerning.
Yeah, Mason Diaz looks like he's going to be getting back in that race car there. He's That car it's not in good shape, but it's in shape, which is, I think, all we can ask for at this point. I get that. As someone who's not in good shape, but it is in a little bit of shape, I get it. We're going to throw it down to Jacqueline Drake there, who's down with the 24 team.
I am a shape.
The 24 team's currently trying to understand if they can work on their car during the red flag. Spotter Robert Arch has just found out that you get a 2-lap penalty if you do work on your car under red flag. Jared Fryer's nearby, and they're working on their car. You can see we have a Sawzall here where the team is going to be using to get the fenders off in order to get this 24 back to where it needs to go. You'll see Mason Diaz pushing down on the driver's side door on what he can do. Mike Darn Racing, all hands on deck. Mason Diaz has been a little bit of a light in this situation from the very beginning, saying, hey, I think we can get back out there. The wheels are straight. So the team is going to do what they can do to get the 24 back on track.
So to get out of that race car, Diaz had to actually get out of the passenger side. Now, as someone who has owned a car before where you had to get in and out through the passenger side door, I get it. I've been there. It did not win me any money. Mason Diaz tonight might have a shot at winning some money on a car that, I mean, you look at that window, and there's not a lot of space there to get in and out of that car. The Mike Darn guys have given him a good car.
Wow.
And that thing is just, it's bent
Pushing
up.
all that sheet metal up. My goodness.
Absolutely. That is yep. But, yeah, the car itself, I mean, it's torn up, but we talked about the safety earlier. We've talked about it in that Hornet race where we had a hard lick earlier with Lane hitting the wall. And that car is, otherwise, you see the scrape up on the Diaz, on the roll bar there. It's a little scuffed up, but that car's in one piece. Yes, if you were to pull all of that sheet metal off of the 24 machine, it's fine.
You would see all the structural parts of it.
It's fine.
Done his job.
Absolutely.
And kept him safe, and he's going to get to finish this race.
So a fun fact about the 24 team, Robert Arch works on that car. Robert Arch is a former world champion dirt racer over at when they held the world championship down at Charlotte Motor Speedway. He won that race, so every time you see him, you got to remind him he is a world champion of dirt racing. Yeah, absolutely. You win one world championship, you're a world champion for life. Robert Arch, I know you're down there listening. You are our world champion. Don't ever forget it.
World-class spotter, too.
Hey, good news. We got 3 cars left on the track to peel off after CM Yarborough's car. And another car, you look at this is what we were talking about. Look at that car as it wheels its way over off of turn number 2, and that car is toast. Look at the framework on it. Look at the roll cage. Not a bend in the thing. Everything did its job as it needed to. These cars are so safe now compared to how they used to be. I mean, years and years and years ago, maybe not so much, but man, the last, let's say 20 years or so, the roll cage in these things, everything is so safe. You can roll one of these things and have no. I remember it was Myrtle Beach a few years back. Somebody's roof flew off, and they rode around and it was fine because they got the roll cage. Basically, they used to race convertibles up at Martinsville Speedway. Same idea. Yeah. Going to toss it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's on probably the busiest woman in motorsports back on pit road.
Yeah, I've caught up with the 77 of Trevor Ward. Your team actually said that they wanted to fix your car and put it back out, but what does the damage look like on yours?
It got the spindle and everything and the clip or whatever, so we ain't going to be able to finish tonight. But it's unfortunate. We know we had 12 laps to go, and, we wasn't running as best we could, but it's just so hard, track positions, everything. But I got to thank Jim from Digital Repair, everybody that's helped me throughout the day, and my team and everybody that's been working all day and night with me. And just thank the good Lord for being out here and everybody's safe after all that chaos. But I can't thank Jim from Digital Repair, Mike Bledsoe Mechanical, and everybody that supported me. Thank y'all, and we'll try to get back and be stronger.
Trevor Ward, for those that have been following him, he used to do racing full-time, but he transitioned this year from driving to driver coaching and development. He's recently found success as a driver coach at Caraway. Heath Causey took a win there just recently, which has been a good outcome for Trevor Ward.
And there you see South Boston, Virginia's own Stacy Purrier. Another guy, bad qualifying effort. Was not happy about that, but he had worked his way through the field. And Purrier was up to, I think, about 14th or so. I mean, he was right there. He was back up to 18th at the time, but he had been plugging along pretty well. And after coming on to pit road a couple times and had that car working about how he wanted it, and another guy so many of these drivers, none of this had to do with them.
All right.
Doc, we tore up a lot of cars, and a lot of those guys just wrong place, wrong time. And here we are. Kyle Dudley, on the other hand, right place, right time, sitting there in 7th place, or whatever he is now.
Right. See a lot of the track now that was under all the cars.
As we finish cleaning up here, with still 12 laps to go here at South Boston Speedway in the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Late Model 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. We're going to take a 2-minute break here on Flow Racing. We'll be right back with you. Once again, folks, 12 laps to go, and again, the last 10 laps of this race will be all green flag. Caution flag laps will not count, so as long as it takes to get this thing in, we'll keep working to get it in, and then we still have fireworks. And man, I got to give a credit to you guys. Everybody here at the track right now, looking at y'all. There's a bunch of you guys just standing too. I dig it. You guys have been here start to finish. None of you guys have left. It's been so good to see. So great to have such a big crowd here. 1 week after we had such a big crowd here. You know, you guys are fantastic. You stuck out through the heat today, and now we just have a beautiful night to finish out the night of racing. Thank you all for being here. It has been an honor and a privilege to be here with you all tonight. We got a few more races to go this season. We've talked about it a little bit. We'll talk about it again here in just a few moments. Racing almost every other weekend through Labor Day weekend. Championship night is September 3rd. Please be here for us with that one if you got to make any of them. That one. But then we've also got our anniversary night. 65 years of racing here, Doc. 65 years of history at South Boston Speedway.
Seen a lot of changes to the tracks over the years. It started out a dirt track, as most tracks did through the years, and was expanded to 4/10 of a mile, what you see now, and the banking was changed. The asphalt was
added
repaved,
that pit wall.
Added the pit wall. I can remember covering races before the wall was added. I do recall that. That makes me old, don't it?
Welcome back to South Boston Speedway. Everyone watching live at home on Flow Racing. Best thing you could possibly see right now. Look at the track. There are no more cars on the track. It has been been some effort getting all that cleared up, but want to thank the folks, Franklin's Wrecker Service, all the track crew at South Boston Speedway. We couldn't do it without the track crew regardless, but especially this. You see it's an all-hands-on-deck deal right now on the track. Everyone trying to get this track cleaned up, getting ready to go for the finish. It's going to be a few more minutes of cleanup time, but the track is in good shape. We got all the track speedy dry down on there. You see some more bags down there if it's needed. But the track's in good shape. We got a jet dryer out there. We got a lot to get this track clear. We should be in good shape before too long. It has just been nonstop work by these guys, and I believe that's Chase Brescher, our general manager, is driving the truck right now that's sweeping this track, and it is.
There's not anything that he won't do.
Nope.
That needs to be done here at South Boston Speedway. Right there's a great example.
Yep.
To do whatever it takes to, whatever needs to be done.
That's John going to see on the screen getting his stuff pulled away. He is the last car to get yanked off the track. Doc, it's going to be interesting to see who comes back out here and tries to drive through this mess in turn one. It is Camden Gilly looks like they're going to give it a shot. Mason Diaz, we've already heard, is going to go ahead and give it a shot. We got the 7 guys parked over in turn number 4. They're obviously going to go for it. You know, it's interesting to see who's going to go ahead and just try to get some laps. And because, again, we're not just racing for tonight. We got the Virginia Triple Crown. The way we decide that, it's an average.
Average finish.
So,
yeah.
Doc, if you finish well tonight, regardless of what happened, it doesn't matter. Yep.
Okay.
You know, it doesn't matter how you finish. You just got to do it.
And we had an update from some of the drivers, and, you know, the heat has been pretty bad today. We did have a couple of drivers that are going to be transported to local medical facility just for precautionary measures. So when we get an update from them, we'll be putting it on our social and the website. So if you're concerned about some of these drivers that were taken away, stay tuned to South Boston Speedway social and southbostonspeedway.com.
That's at Sobo Speedway 57 on Instagram and Twitter. SouthBostonSpeedway.com or Facebook.com/South Boston Speedway, and of course SouthBostonSpeedway.com. And we're going to throw it down to Jacqueline Drake, who's with Lee Pulliam, who is the car owner of the leader right now.
Yeah, I'm down here with Lee Pulliam. And Lee, you might be the car owner that has had all the highs and all the lows today. You have one car that's made it into the pits, Brandon Pierce, followed by Corey Heim. Your other car is the current leader and has dominated this race, quite frankly. South Boston has a lot of heart to you. You said you've been underneath the dry spell. How has your day been coming from you?
It's definitely been a roller coaster. I'm super proud of that 78 and all the work those guys have done, and just sick for Brandon at the same time. You know, our early wreck running P10 there, and thought we had a really good chance at having a good run. And you know, I just hate it for the Thunder Road guys, but you know, right now our focus is on the 78 and getting this Toyota in victory lane. I'm so proud of all the guys. It's been over 2 years since I've been in victory lane on a late model, and man, I'm a little nervous right now. I know it's going to be some hard racing. I've had some hard races with that 26, and it's about to be a show for you fans. Just hope we can hold on.
You talk about being nervous. You are the man when it comes to this race and winning here, especially when it comes to the Virginia Triple Crown. I mean, people hated how much you won this race. What's the nerves like when it comes to being in the driver's seat versus now sitting back as a car owner and coach?
Driver's seat, I'd go out there and, you know, get the job done, whatever it took. But sitting here watching on the sidelines, you know, I have a lot of faith in Corey, and I feel like he's going to make the right decisions, and hopefully we can hold him off. But, you know, it's tough. I'm way more nervous on this side of it than I am behind the wheel, you know. When I put my helmet on, I don't worry about anything but getting the trophy. And right now I'm doing a lot of praying, a little talking to myself, and just hoping we can hold on.
Well, Lee Pulliam, he's hoping God is hearing his prayers, and they'll be ending up in victory lane tonight.
6 races in a row that he won of this race here, the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Late Model 200, presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. And Jacqueline is right, man. By the time he finished winning all those races, people were getting a little grumpy about it. But, you know, he just, at the time, for about the 8-9 years there was nobody better in the late model stock than Lee Pulliam.
No, yeah, he absolutely dominated the late model scene for many years. He was winning at the Martinsville race, winning a lot of races here and other tracks, and got him a couple of national titles. And he's still young. He accomplished that at a very young age, and you know, those are, like you said earlier, those are fans that will cheer or boo for him, and those are fans that are wrong, right?
So here comes Bobby McCarty back on the track.
There you
Again,
go.
working on the car under red is a 2-lap penalty. However, if it doesn't matter what happens in those 2 laps, you know, you're gonna be okay. We're gonna throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake on pit road.
I've caught up with Brandon Pierce and the 2. We just talked to your car owner, and man, what a roller coaster of day you have had starting from the very beginning of this feature. But you got your hand wrapped up here, and I know you got stuck in that carnage. Walk me through just how devastating it was for you.
Yeah, it's super disappointing for our organization and for our sponsors, Thunder Road Harley-Davidson, Grand Atlantic. You know, I called this place home for 3 years, and I am extremely disappointed with the officials tonight. Jason Barnes got turned around early, and we all are checking up. I commit to go to the bottom, and as I got about 2 car lengths from him, for whatever reason, he let off the brake and hit us. So we come down pit road. We got back going. Pace car never passes us. We pit with the lead lap cars. They wait to tell us at the 50 break that we're a lap down, even though race monitor does not show us a lap down. Then they say we're fine. It continues to show us passing cars moving forward. We come down pit road for the lap 100 break. We're 17th. They waited to tell us till 1 to go at the 100 break that now we're a lap down. The only time I went a lap down is my teammate got by me with 2 to go to the lap 150 break, but I still would have then been the lucky dog. So, and I know they know they're wrong, because you can go back, and I'm sure everybody on Flow seen it tonight. There's 3 restarts that I'm 10 cars in front of guys behind me that were supposedly a lap down, and I'm 2 laps down. It doesn't take a genius to know that if I'm 2, I would be behind them. So it's super frustrating, and then this is just insult to injury. I'll be fine. I don't know what happened, but other than we all hit a parking lot, but my hand just got caught in between the wheel, and when it whipped around, it just took my wrist with it. So It's black and blue, but I'll be all right. Just super frustrating because we had a really good car. I feel like I passed the most cars tonight, but don't have anything to show for it. So, but it's like I told Lee, once I finally got out, he ran up to me, made sure I was all right. I said, I'll feel a whole heck of a lot better if Primetime Heim can hold on and win this thing. He's been pretty dominant, so I would like to see that kid get one here. He's been robbed of 2 here before, so he's got a super win here, but you know, I'm a team player, and I'd love to see him get a win tonight. So just want to thank everybody at Flow Racing, and again, Thunder Road Harley-Davidson and Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort, and all these fans coming out tonight. Great field, guys, and hate that for everybody right there. It's a lot of torn up race cars, time, and money, but we'll build it back and see everybody at the Hampton Heat July 23rd.
Well, frustrated Brandon Pierce, but we're glad that you were okay.
And we'll take a look at that replay once again here. And again, it's Looney, it's Schaefer, and just right there. The 14 goes around, and once the 14, the Jared Fryer's around, it is on.
Look at those impacts. Incredible.
Yeah. You know, we talked about it earlier. Mark Wirtz came through here, and he's got some left rear damage out of all this. You see him in the blue car coming off of turn 4 there, and just watch Wirtz work his way through here. He goes inside, and this is veteran stuff. I know where I need to be, and he just points that car and goes for it, and watch him zoom through here. I think he's going to catch maybe the 14 car's rear end. Either that or it might be Camden Gilly that gets him. One of these two are going to get him in the rear end just a little, and then otherwise he's going to scoot through by, 2, 3, maybe 4 inches. And you see him get through there, and you see the thing come around just a little. It looks like it was Gilly that got him. And he gets through, and Mark Wirtz was at the line when we came by. Mark Wirtz was back in the field a little bit. He was 10th, and he's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, maybe 7th at the worst.
Nice.
You see a little flame coming off the 2 car there on the bottom left. And
that's why he was getting out so hard.
Absolutely, yeah. But you see that Wirtz car on this side, the car looks fine. He's got a little bit of right rear damage. The spoiler's bent in just a little. That right rear, the whole thing kind of got it a little bit. You see him. You see Kyle Dudley right behind him. Kyle Dudley had a great race going early. Got around after some contact, and we thought his race was over.
Yeah.
The thing that worked out for him, he was in the back. He probably thought his race was over and backed up, just let this all happen. He just came to a stop, waited, worked his way through, and now he's back up in the top 10, where he's been most of the night when he didn't get turned.
Right, absolutely. And so sometimes a lot of drivers will tell you they'd rather be lucky than good. And that's a great example to get through there. See a look at the Jared Fryer's car. Looks like they're going to try to get him back out there.
Yeah, and again, 2-lap penalty for working on a car under red. But, man, I'll tell you, why not? Let's say you're going to have 3 or 4 cars. You see the Mason Diaz is coming out. Yellow flag is out, by the way. Yellow flag is back out. And you see Mason Diaz comes out to the track with what's left of his car. Behind, and there's Bobby McCarty with what's left of his car. Bobby McCarty and Mason Diaz, both guys that have a legit shot at winning the Virginia Triple Crown.
Yep.
And again, we were talking about it. It is your average finish. So
these positions are so vital.
You know, I like to golf. I know we got some listeners out there, especially up in the Minnesota region, love to golf. We always joke, it doesn't matter how it ends up on the scorecard. A birdie's a birdie, right?
That's right.
That's where we are right here. We're going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake on pit road, see what she's run into now.
Yeah, I've ran into the 81 of Minnie Tyrell, and you've had an interesting season so far. It's obviously not how you wanted it to end, but what did you see from your point of view there?
We had a good car up to the point. We didn't qualify well. We made a mistake earlier and kind of screwed up our qualifying, but we made the most of it. We definitely charged through the field early, but right there, just trying to get through the bottom, but everybody was wrecking in front of me, and I saw them all wreck up top, so I went low, and I hit a car head on. I hope Jonathan's all right and everybody's okay, but I hate it for my team. I hate it for my guys. We're a low-budget team. We need all the help we can get, but we're going to hopefully try and piece it back together and maybe make it out for the rest of the season.
Minnie Tyrell, he's had a little bit of a limited schedule this season. He just recently ran at Dominion Raceway and had a few mechanical issues, so tough luck and tough break for the 81.
So once again, folks, caution flag laps no longer count. They don't count for the final 10 laps of this race. So we're going to hit 10 to go. Caution flag laps, I don't believe count. So we're going to go through here, and it looks like right now we've got maybe 11 cars. I'm counting 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 11. Yeah, 11 cars. You're going to see Camden Gillies on pit road. Mason Diaz is on pit road. Bobby McCarty stayed out. I guess they're happy with that. Jared Fryer's coming back down on pit road. Kind of, a lot of these guys are already a couple laps down due to working on their cars. But, Doc, these cars, again, they're going to end up with a top 10, top 11 finish. I mean,
and that's so important for the big prize.
Yep,
You may not have a winning car today, but if you're planning to compete in all three, it's the average finish of all three races. So whatever you can salvage today might make a difference in some extra cash at Martinsville.
Oh, yeah, hey, the modifieds are out here. Kyle Rickey, if you're watching at home, second biggest modified fan I know behind Steve Post. And it's just good to have the modifieds out here, it looks like anyway. We got a couple of them, especially Jared Fryer. That car is just about, I mean, the left side, looking at this angle here on flow,
looks normal.
It looks real good. That's a good-looking race car. It's just what's going to happen is we're going to look at the other side, and it looks real bad. Yeah. Camden Gillies, another guy right now, he's got his exhaust pipe is just out there by itself. He's going to be on and off pit road a handful of times. None of these guys care about... So caution flag laps right now don't count anyway. They can just come and work on the car. But none of these guys really care where they finish out of this next little bit. Yeah, you see there's
right
Camden
inside
Gillies.
the race car.
Yeah. At this point, it doesn't matter. Like, you're going to have, if you're finishing, you've got a top 10, top 11 finish. You've put yourself in good position for the Virginia Triple Crown just on that alone. So
that's how Bobby McCarty salvaged a good finish at Langley.
Absolutely.
At the Hampton Heat last year, because he finished 7th or 8th behind Peyton Sellers, and then had a better finish at Martinsville, where Sellers had a lot of trouble. So he didn't. He won this race last year, but then had an okay finish at Langley. Just salvaged a good finish, and then and by his finish at Martinsville, he was able to claim the Triple Crown. North Carolina driver claiming the Virginia Triple Crown. How's that?
As a North Carolina guy, I don't mind.
Me too. I grew up in Virginia, though.
Yeah.
So I got some roots here.
So Corey Heim is going to be your leader. He's going to, I assume he's going to take the high side. He's taking the high side most of the night. However, we talked about it earlier. You come to these last 10 laps.
You know you're going to get used to it.
Yep. If Peyton Sellers is a good dude. He's a nice guy. He's always willing to help these other drivers. 10 laps ago for a $10,000 race in the first leg of the Triple Crown. He's not going to be so nice with some of these guys on his outside. If he needs to put a wheel to somebody, he's going to put a wheel to somebody. It's 10 grand. I would spit out my grandmother for 10 grand. I'd probably spit out my grandmother for about 50 bucks, really. If the money's on the line and you get a pretty trophy out of it, you know, you got to do what you got to do.
That's right. Especially on a big stage like this, you better believe it. Still,
look at all you guys. I see you guys waving at the cameras over there.
Waving at the camera.
Race fans, you guys are still rocking out there, and I love it. You look at this crowd. This is a beautiful crowd we've had all day long.
That's turns 3 and 4.
Yep, right behind the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson billboard.
You guys are the show right now.
Man, I am impressed. It's just look at the crowd, all the trackside parking, all the people in the seats, it has been all the people. Traffic is going to be a nightmare getting out of here tonight, and that's all you could ask for. You want nothing more than to have a lot of traffic getting out of a racetrack at the end of a night.
That's a good problem.
Yeah, it is 11:30 at night, and all you folks are still here. Folks, you're going to be treated, I promise you, we only have 11 cars on the track. It is still going to be an absolute show for these last few laps. It is. The racing's going to be hard. It has been hot all day. The track's mostly cleaned up, man. It's, we're in good shape. But all you folks that have stuck around, all these people over by the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson billboard, want to say hello to you. And folks, we're lining them up. We're taking one to go this time by. Lining them up, it is going to be Corey Heim on the outside. It is going to be Peyton Sellers on the inside. If you if you nodded off during the break, it's time to wake back up. Time to get going green again. 10 laps to go in the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson Late Model 200, presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. Corey Heim, Peyton Sellers in row number 1. Carter Langley, Jacob Boris in row number 2. Mike Looney, Mark Wirtz in row number 3. Kyle Dudley up to row number 4. Pace cars off. Green flags in the air. We're back underway. Whoa. And there's trouble immediately. Hard contact. We get moving again, though. Jacob Boris on the outside, and here comes Jacob Boris. Trouble for Peyton Sellers. A hard contact. He falls back to 4th. Boris to the inside. Heim to the outside. They've done this all night long. Can Jacob Boris do anything with Corey Heim?
Well, if it is, he better make
trouble off of turn number 2. Big pileup. It is Peyton Sellers. It is Carter Langley. It is Mike Looney. Caution flag flies again with 8 laps to go. And my goodness gracious, Peyton Sellers involved, but man, his car looks to be okay. Mike Looney's front end is mashed in.
Look at that front bumper bent all the way up and left the nose cover over there in turns number 1.
Absolutely. That car is, there's a lot of race car back on that track, but again, right now, if they can get that car, keep it functioning.
Well,
I mean, he's already got a top 10, top 11 finish, regardless of what happens.
Right.
The question is, do you want to bring it back out here, and do you want to try to do more with it?
The radiator looks damaged there.
Yeah, I mean, at this point, what's not damaged on this racetrack?
True.
So Looney brings his car back onto pit road, right to the attention of Jacqueline Drake. Jacqueline, what do you got for us?
Wow, talk about contact there happening on the track. The 87 and Mike Looney's brought it in. You can see the hood crunched up on that harrisonsworkwear.com. They're going to take a look to see what they can do, detach the hood pins, and hopefully push it back down to where he can go back out. But it looks like Mike Looney may be done. He's removing his gloves. I can see inside here. Meanwhile, you'll see Carter Langley. They're going to take the hood. They're going to take the nose off. They're going to pull that off, the number 5, send him back out. He currently looks like a modified, but they're salvaging that number 5. So they got the hood off of the 87, taking a look. Mike has his helmet off. Oh, yep. We'll see the front of this car. So the radiator's completely smashed in on the 87. There's water running all about. The hoses are ripped off. The motor is smoking, and it's definitely not a good outcome here for the 87. We'll see if we can get a word with Mike Looney in just a moment.
Thank you, Jacqueline. Here comes a replay. Take a look at this. I thought we did. We're throwing the, oh, that one.
A lot of damage to that Mike Looney car. His night is done, but you know, that's going to be good news for Camden Gilly and some of these guys who, they're a couple laps down, I believe, or they're marked a couple laps down, and here comes that replay now.
There we go.
And man, it's Sellers to the inside, and you know what? It almost, Carter came down a little bit. Sellers was there, but also they're right in the kitty litter right there. And I don't know if necessarily anyone can get it load up coming through there. You see, Sellers is to the inside. Carter Langley comes down just a little bit, and they're right in that stuff, so it's going to be a little slippery anyway. Langley goes around, and Looney just had nowhere to go, and Wirtz again
squeaks by.
Man, Wirtz needs to stop by the sheets on the way home, buy himself a lottery ticket. He has gotten through 2 so far, and you know, Peyton Sellers' car does not look. He's got that rear end
to be in the middle of it.
Yeah, to have gotten caught up in that. The problem is now he's got a lot of work to do to get back up front. And Jacqueline Drake back down on pit road with Mike Looney.
Yeah, we got Mike Looney right here. He's looking at his car saying, I don't know what just happened, but Mike looking at this car, I mean, you were having such a good night until these final few laps. Walk us through, what did you see anything?
Nah, I really couldn't see anything. Obviously, there must have been some contact or something in front, got them all checked up. Peyton, he was checking up really hard, and I was in the brakes all I could do. And, they just stopped. You know, they don't stop on a dime. So really unfortunate, was just trying to get out of here alive. And, tore up another race car. That's a bummer. It's feeding time at the zoo out there, so I'm gonna get up on the trailer and watch this.
Back to you guys in the booth.
Like the rest of us in life, just trying to get out of lives, Mark Looney, and Mike Looney just can't quite get it done tonight, but he'll be back. He always is.
Oh, yeah.
Kate Pfeffer, caution back on the track here. Got to get everybody kind of reorganized. You know, that Mike Looney crew, they've, you know, again, they got it. They really, I mean, everyone knows in racing, knows Mike Looney, right? But he became a story at that race. And, oh, man, Carter Langley's car is,
yeah, got the side peeled back.
Reminds me of Philip Morris racing for the national championship that one year, where you had the car coming apart, had to go rub it up on the wall to get the fender off, so he wouldn't get black flagged.
And then guess what? Next year, they had a rule against that.
Yep.
Let's see if he tries that.
I mean, might as well. You paid for the whole track, use it, right? You got that wall there.
That's right.
He paid to come in like everybody else. Carter Langley, I mean, and that's another guy. If you can just keep this thing rolling, he's still going to be a top 6, 7 finish, whatever.
Caution laps don't count.
No, they don't.
Go in there and rip it off.
So Camden Gilly is in 9th right now, scored in 9th place. He'll be up to 8th after this Carter Langley pit stop. Again, caution flag laps do not count. So they can take a hot minute, get this thing peeled off properly, or kick it off or whatever, however you're going to do it. There's a kick. All right, good form. Yeah, good form on that. Get that thing off.
Kung Fu fighting.
And he's got that. And get him. Yeah, we got the medals. We got the shears off.
Tools, yeah.
Might need to tape that thing back up a little bit too. Try to get it, get the rear quarter panel back taped in there.
There we go.
But that's got more scissors coming out. And yeah, we're gonna try to go back green here momentarily. But talk about the Camden Gilly will be up to 8th place. They did not work on that car under caution. Bobby McCarty currently sits 10th, 2 laps down. Jared Fryer Jonathan is also 2 laps down on that. A bunch of guys still need to come through. We need 1 or 2 more laps. We'll see some of these guys kind of settle into the positions they're going to end up being for the night. But
going green next time by, so they got him out just in time. So he'll blend right in. So kudos to those crew and getting her done. So
absolutely, we'll see. We'll see what that car still got. He still might have some life in it.
That was a good car.
It's lighter.
Yeah,
it's a lot lighter now. So here we go. The Danville Toyota pace car is going to once again make the hard left-hand turn onto pit road. Once again, Corey Heim's going to lead him to the field, and once again, Jacob Boris is to his inside. Race fans, here we go. Green flag in the air. We're back underway. Jacob Boris to the inside. Corey Heim to the outside. Heim with a good run coming off the corner. It is going to be Boris to the inside, though. Can Boris hold it down there? Jacob Boris dives it into turn number 3 underneath Corey Heim. This is where Corey Heim has been so good. Once again, Corey Heim pulls out to the lead, and he clears Jacob Boris to go into turn number 1.
He'll continue to run that high side, get that momentum going. Jacob Boris trying a different line. Now, he's been burning up that low side, so we'll see if he can get anything going for the leader. As laps are clicking off, 7 to go that time by.
Peyton Sellers back up to 3rd already. We got hard battling throughout the field, regardless of how big this field is. Let's beat and bang anyway. Why not? It is Corey Heim on the outside. Jacob Boris trying to get to him, trying to get a bumper to him. It's bump and run time, y'all. We got less than 10 laps to go. Whatever you got, that's what you got left. Jacob Boris trying to track down Corey Heim. It has been the Corey Heim show tonight. Corey Heim way up the track that time, though. Here comes Jacob Boris off turn number 4. They beat, they bang. They're diving to turn number 1, tearing up some cars. Jacob Boris up the track. Corey Heim on the inside. Does Jacob Boris have the run coming off the corner? Corey Heim holding on to the spot on the high side. Here comes Corey Heim.
Coming to 4 to go at the line. Jacob Boris will lead that lap as they both are side by side. Drop off in turn number 2. They both get run up the track. They are leaning on each other.
Jacob Boris to the inside, tries to come back down a little bit. That higher groove was working for Jacob Boris. Corey Heim's going to get a good run off of turn 4 here. He's back to the lead. He clears Boris as they go back into turn 1.
He's going to have to take away that high groove away from the leader.
Jacob Boris dives it into turn 3. He's going to have to go in real hard here. He's got coming to 2 to go this time by. Corey Heim has been the class of the field all night long. Does Jacob Boris have anything for him?
Drove it in deep that time. Coming to 1 to go next time by. They're on the back straightaway. Look at him dive in there really hard.
Jacob Boris is going to come off of turn number 4. He has got to get to the bumper of Corey Heim. Heim on the high side, Boris on the inside. They come off of turn number 2. Can Corey Heim clear Jacob Boris? Borst right to the bumper of the Heim as they go into turn 3. Jacob Borst side by side coming off of turn 4. Borst off of 4. Is it Heim? Is it Borst? Corey Heim will win tonight. Jacob Borst second. Peyton Sellers third. Corey Heim is your winner tonight of the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. What a race, Doc Love.
Holy moly, just like the last time we raced, two cars battling for the win, making contact, and it was almost a photo finish, but the 78 spun across the start-finish line first. Wow, what a finish. Fans, how about that? Are you excited for that finish? Let me hear ya.
How about a big round of applause, Jacob Borst, Corey Heim racing hard. It is Corey Heim coming home your victor tonight. And so fitting that Corey Heim's car is used up like everyone else's tonight. What an effort by Jacob Borst. Look at that car as he comes down pit road, smoking around the track. What a race. What a finish. American flag going to Corey Heim.
That's Brandon Pierce out there giving him the American flag.
His teammate.
He is a team player. Look at the fans lining the fence.
What a Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200.
With that finish,
by
usually we'd see first, maybe second, as we see a couple of people getting together here on the pit road there by the 24 machine, Mason Diaz. A civil discussion looks like. But look at the fans line up to thumbs up to Corey Heim. But usually you'll see first, maybe second, unscathed in a big race.
Nothing.
Not one car was undamaged this year.
And you look at the 78 car, watching it roll around, that is a crab walk it's got going on. That rear end is trying to come around on it. Just what a race, what a finish, what a start to the Virginia Triple Crown.
So I was having a discussion with Peyton Sellers, seeing a lot of people pointing, well, over here, we did that over here, you did that over here. So everybody kind of having a major discussion throughout the field here.
Here comes Corey Heim to his crew, getting the thumbs up, pat on the car, might try to knock that hood down. Tech's going to be interesting for everybody.
Yeah, what tech? I don't need a tech now. Everything's tore up.
You see on the replay here, field dives into turn number 1. They come off of turn number 2, and Corey Heim is right there. Jacob Borst doing his best, gets to the inside of Heim, and they come off of 4, and you're going for $10,000. What are you going to do? Borst just had nowhere to go. A hard contact, but Corey Heim is your winner. We're going to have one more look at this, and, man, Corey Heim did everything he could. Jacob Borst did everything he could. And you see him right here. They dive it into the corner. Borst goes up the track trying to do something, trying to do anything to get that win. And there's the contact, and doesn't matter how you get across the finish line first. As long as you cross the finish line first, you're the winner. And there's Corey Heim. Jacqueline Drake's down in front, the start-finish line with Corey Heim.
Unbelievable. Corey Heim takes home the win by just half a car length. He's going to receive congratulations from car owner Lee Poyam. Teammate Brandon Pierce is going to come over, and his father. Corey, everyone here was on their feet. You and Jacob put on a show. What was going through your mind in that last corner?
Yeah, I mean, that contact on that previous restart with Peyton just really messed my whole balance up, so it made it a lot harder than it should have been. But just overall, so proud of these Elite Point Performance guys. This one's really, it's been a long time coming for him. We've been so close. I've given so many races away personally, and just I told myself I wasn't going to give this one away tonight. So my Toyota Camry was so good all night long, and, you know, that last lap there, I hate that we tore up this car. I mean, it shouldn't.
That's a spotter right there.
Shouldn't have been like that, but it's all good.
Talk about drama here at South Boston. You have had it every time you've competed here. You got your first super late model win here. You had 2 late model wins here that were DQ'd. Now a victory, $10,000 at that. Of course it can't come without a little bit of drama.
Yeah, I mean, this place, you know, like you mentioned, has meant so much to me. It's one of the first places I ever came and raced at, and actually the first in a late model stock. So this place means so much to me. The fans out here, I know we got a lot of Elite Point fans in the stands, so appreciate you all coming out. It's awesome to see the turnout. This place was packed tonight, so that was awesome.
Corey Heim, your feature event winner tonight in the late model stock division. He's celebrating a birthday in a couple days, folks, as well.
Happy birthday, Corey Heim. What a better way to celebrate than a check for $10,000. Well, take a look at this replay one more time. Jacob Boris did everything he could and everything he should to try to win this race. He comes off the corner and really just slides up the track, going full out. And you look at Corey Heim, he's up the track too. And they're both just drifting up, and there's contact. And what else do you do? Nothing intentional. What else do you do? You're racing for 10 grand. You're racing for the first win in the Virginia Triple Crown. You're racing in front of all of these people at home, at the track. You're putting on a good show. What do you do? That's what you do right there.
That's right. And Jacob Boer's trying to not let a gunslinger come to his backyard and take away this big victory. He's the local guy, so he's wanting that victory to go to a local guy. So they're both racing hard. They both were, I don't want to say out of control, but they were sliding.
Going to toss it down to Jacqueline Drake, who's now with Jacob Borst.
Yeah, we're down here with Jacob Borst, who finished second this evening in the feature event. Jacob, you had quite the battle going on between you and Corey. I know you had some team members that were upset with how that ironed out, but how do you feel about the finish?
Our team members were mad. Theirs were. So we're going for $10,000. I'm not going to let them win the race. You know, we're going to have some contact. I rode behind them for 150 laps, so if I wanted to dump them, I would have dumped them then. So, you know, we gave it our all. You know, our all wasn't good enough. So I got to thank all my sponsors, Southside Exposed, Full Surface Concepts, Barber Heating Air, Cox Christ Dodge Toyota, Triad Signs. Just everybody helps me get to the track every week. You know, we have a little bit of work to do, but we'll come back stronger. And, you know, all in all, it's a solid night.
Jacob Borst, who's taking it home in second place. Well earned this evening for the 25.
You know, Doc, I get why Corey Heim's crew is going to be a little upset. Until I think when they see the replay and they see how they came off the corner and all that, I think they're going to understand a little more. But in the heat of all this, literally the heat, it has been hot all day. Everyone's tired. It's been a long race.
Yeah,
I get it. But I think after the fact, they're going to see the replay and go, all right, you know what? I get it. Like, we still won. We still got the check. And we're going to throw it back down to Jacqueline Drake, who's with Peyton Sellers in third.
Yeah, I walked up to Peyton Sellers. He said, fight and finish. And that was, you finished third this evening. I know you had a strategy behind you. Did it play out just how you thought it would?
Yeah, hats off to Corey and those guys. He drove his butt off tonight. And I told him during the break, I said, look, I'm not going to wreck you for the win, but the 5 car tried to light my tires up, and I spun into him, and I thought it was going to kill us both right there. But I was trying to race clean. Just come home third with this Clarence's Steakhouse car. Is a good, solid night for us. Good start to the Triple Crown. Car is fairly much in one piece, so you know, yeah, win would have been nice, but I didn't want to wreck those guys racing for the win. And kind of looking at the big picture a little bit, but just happy to be here. Got to thank everybody involved on this: Davenport Energy, Danville Toyota, Clarence's Steakhouse. All the people, Sowers Construction, C&L Equipment celebrating their 50th year anniversary. Everybody involved right here. Just Banks Racing Engines, Brian Tanner's here helping us. Alsco Uniforms, C4, Riverside Exxon for sure. And, you know, I hate it. Spun our tires real bad on that start and got me and Corey all screwed up. But the 5 was into the back of me. Then the 5 kind of chopped across this area, was racing hard. But we'll fix it back and come back next week.
Great sportsmanship by the 26 of Peyton Sellers.
Want to thank everyone for watching us live on Flow Racing tonight. For Doc Love, I'm Ken Childs. Want to thank everyone again for coming out tonight, watching the Thunder Road Harley-Davidson 200 presented by Grand Atlantic Ocean Resort. We're going to call it a night from South Boston Speedway. Thanks, everyone, for watching. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time.